Today, legislation that could change the way the state superintendent is put in office will be heard in committee. I'm Colby Thielen. How Oklahoma's top education official could be chosen, it's coming up. And the Oklahoma Highway Patrol releases the dash cam video of a trooper stopping an intoxicated wrong-way driver on the Turner Turnpike. That breaking news update from yesterday, it's ahead.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Megan Gold. Severe threats ramp up across western Oklahoma. Tennis ball size hail and tornadoes are possible this evening into the overnight. The latest timeline and what you need to know is coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good morning. Glad you're with us here on a Thursday. Yesterday it was nice to have the drizzle throughout the day. It kind of was like, okay, some moisture.
It was good napping weather. It didn't amount to much, but
it was good napping weather.
Moisture was good, yeah.
For those that can nap. Yes, it was good napping day. Today is a day to actually not nap, to be weather aware, especially into this evening.
This evening, so about 5 to 6 o'clock, we'll watch for supercells to develop down in southwestern Oklahoma, and these will pose really the biggest severe weather risk we've seen so far this season. The cold front has been down in the south and east, and it has had thunderstorms along it during the afternoon, the evening, the overnight hours. 1, 2 to even 3 inches of rain have fallen. Some good size hail, a couple of severe thunderstorms, and during the overnight hours, a few showers up in the Norman area over to Shawnee. Most of us staying dry, and this morning, the bulk of the thunderstorms are down to the south. Here in the metro, a little bit of light drizzle is possible. It's patchy. It is not as dense as it was yesterday morning. Over Ada to Stratford, Pauls Valley, Wynnewood to Hennepin, thunderstorms right now, and those extend down to the south and to the east. Fog also going to be an issue this morning. Dense fog up in the north and west. Here in the metro, starting to see fog develop. Okarche to Kingfisher, and very dense fog over Putnam to Loga and Thomas, where visibility is less than a quarter of a mile. That extends up towards the Woodward in the May area. Here in the Oklahoma City metro, here's the live look on our Lucky Star Skycam network. Visibility continues to be reduced. We are 52 degrees right now. Our high temperature yesterday was 53 with the clouds and the drizzle around. Through the day, temperatures just did not warm. It is 46 in Clinton, 47 in Sealing, Guthrie, you're 50 degrees down to Jones, and 52 in Purcell. So 40s back to the west, a few spots in the 30s in the Panhandle, and with those light winds, fog developing. So this morning through 10 o'clock, dense fog possible in this blue shaded region, patchy fog in the white, and then it is all about our severe weather chances later this evening. And again, tomorrow we'll talk all about it, and your weekend forecast is coming up.
Again, thanks. We want to turn to some breaking news right now on the northwest side of Oklahoma City. You're taking a live look at a crash right here on the Northwest Expressway just south of Wilshire. It looks like at this point just one vehicle involved. We haven't seen another vehicle on this scene, but you can see a lot of damage to this F-150 here, and they do have the wrecker out there waiting to tow it away, but a ton of front end damage as well as a shattered windshield. So at this point, our crew is there. As you can see, a live look from Lex Stanfield, and he's working to get information about what led to this crash. But again, tons of damage. They're working to clear it right now. Northwest Expressway, it looks like at this point, no cars going by. Hopefully that's just due to lighter traffic. But at this point, we'll let you know if it is closed, when it could reopen. As soon as they get this cleared, we'll bring you those updates. And developing this morning, police investigating after a woman is shot and killed in Enid. Officers say they found the woman shot at a home just before 8 o'clock last night. She died at the hospital. We also know police tried to talk to a man who refused to get out of his car at a nearby gas station. Unclear at this point if it's connected to this shooting scene. We are working to learn that from police. We've reached out. We'll bring you those updates as they come in.
We're going to be going eastbound and westbound. Put your hands out the door now!
This is dashcam video from the Oklahoma Highway Patrol showing the moments a state trooper stopped an intoxicated, wrong-way driver after he nearly crashes head-on with a semi-truck. Look at that. Yikes. We first brought you this as breaking news right here on News 9 at 4 yesterday morning. OHP says that trooper first saw the driver going the wrong way on I-35. They eventually got onto the wrong way of the Turner Turnpike. Troopers say the driver's blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit. Fortunately, no injuries were involved in this. So far, the driver's name has not yet been released. An investigation is underway at OU Health Hospital, where officials say a person was found dead in a private visitor's bathroom. The spokesperson for the hospital tells us that person was found in the locked bathroom on Monday by a cleaning employee. It's not clear how they died or just how long they had been there. But OU Health tells us it's saddened by the death and is working closely with officials as they review this case. This morning, we're working to learn the details about the Jones police chief and why he's on administrative leave this morning. The town board voted Tuesday night to put Chief Brian Farrington on leave. Officials also approved hiring an attorney to investigate the police department. We did reach out to the Jones officials. So far, we have not heard back. We'll bring you those updates as soon as we do. A Vietnamese refugee who rebuilt his life in Oklahoma is now facing deportation. What was supposed to be a routine work permit check-in ended with ICE taking him into custody. News 9's Deanne Stein spoke with his family and has his story.
These photos of high wind capture a story of family, fun, candid moments with his wife and young children, and special occasions he shared with his loved ones.
He's the pillar of support in my life.
His niece Teresa Lee says everything changed for their family this week after Wynn was detained by ICE.
I think it's really difficult to kind of put into words all of the emotions that I feel.
Lee says her uncle immigrated to the U.S. as a child and later got his green card. But while he was in college, he was arrested for possession of marijuana.
He did his community service and got the charge expunged, but he was never eligible to gain citizenship here again.
Lee says Wynn did have a valid work permit and never missed an immigration check-in. But this year, despite his expunged record, he was detained over an old removal order tied to that crime.
It makes me sad. I think that's the best word that I can say.
She says Lee moved on from his mistake, graduating from college, getting married, raising a family, paying taxes, and working at Hobby Lobby for 15 years.
You know, you have someone who brings this light and this energy and always reminds you that it's not a bad life, it's just a bad day. And then he's not there.
In Oklahoma City, Deanne Stein, Oklahoma's Own, News 9.
Lee says her uncle could stay in custody for up to 180 days, waiting to be deported to Vietnam. If he's not, the family plans to petition for his release. Meanwhile, the family says Hobby Lobby put Wynn on leave of absence until April, so if he's released, he will be able to return to work. 4:07 your time right now, taking a live look at the nation's capital this morning, and it's a little foggy out there in D.C. Oklahoma's Commissioner of Public Safety was there yesterday. He was there to testify on immigrants here illegally that obtained commercial driver's licenses. This comes as Congress is working to tighten the rules surrounding those CDLs. Governor Kevin Stitt ordered OHP to work with ICE to help remove illegal immigrants driving semi-trucks under Operation Guardian last year. Commissioner Tim Tipton says half of all drivers whose trucks they inspected were here illegally, but they had valid driver's licenses, with many issued from California, Illinois, and Pennsylvania.
There are loopholes in the federal standards and statutes that allow almost any state to issue it.
Closing those loopholes, Tipton says, is his hope for any legislation that comes from yesterday's hearing. 2 Oklahoma families are also in D.C. sharing stories of loss in hopes that it will end fentanyl-related deaths. Carla Carlock, mother of Rain Reese, and Jacob Tao, Leonardo Tao's father, both lost their children to fentanyl overdoses. They joined other families Wednesday as Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem testified on the impact of open border policies and fentanyl on families. Carla says it was an emotional moment.
I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be a part of these things, but I'd give it all up just to have her back.
So both families also pushed for state legislation named after their loved ones. Leo's law is still waiting to be signed by the governor. Meanwhile, Rain's law was signed into state law last month. Today, the House Rules Committee will hear a joint resolution to take state superintendent off the ballot and put it in the hands of the governor. So under this resolution, the State House of Representatives would give the governor a list of 6 nominees for state superintendent. The governor's pick would then have to be confirmed by the state Senate. So if this resolution passes, it would be put on the ballot as a state question. So voters would still have to decide if this change is made. If Oklahomans approve that change, it would go into effect in November of 2034. A committee hearing is set to start at 11 this morning. We'll be there and we'll be following. 4:10 right now. Let's turn to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Megan Gold standing by. Megan, it's a day to be weather aware, especially later in the day.
Exactly. For this evening, folks in western Oklahoma, Elk City, Sayre, Hobart, we really need you to be dialed in. Supercells go up as early as 5 to 6 o'clock. These will be rotating thunderstorms and will produce large hail, could produce tornadoes, but this morning, drizzle and some very dense fog. There's the live look from our Mathis home camera. Temperatures very mild, 52 degrees, and again, severe weather chances ramp up. We'll talk about it right after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. We want to get you ready for severe weather season, and it is upon us today. You can meet the entire News 9 weather team. Megan, Lacey, David, they'll all be out there. Storm trackers, Mason Dunn, Bob Mills Sky News 9, all this weekend. It's the 10th annual Severe Weather Awareness Expo, Saturday from 11 to 2 at the Penn Square Mall. But guess what? People come from all over the state to come to this event. So if you want to get there and not wait in line for several hours, get there early. That would be my suggestion. I went one year, and the Dillard's is at the other end of the mall from where you guys are. And I walked out because I was like, oh, I'll stop by and say hello. The line all the way.
Did you have to stand in line? You don't have to stand in line. You're one of us.
I didn't stand in line, but I watched the line, and it was all the way back to the other end of the concourse and out the door. So I was like, wow, get there early. That would be my suggestion.
We're very grateful for a long line, but it will be a lot of fun. So come out, come see us.
And a lot to talk about, especially because today and maybe tomorrow we're looking at possible severe weather chances.
Yeah, I will tell you, I think today the threat is higher for our viewing area. For tomorrow, it's looking like it shifts a little farther to the east. However, both days, I think all of us need to be dialed in because when these storms develop, we'll really have to watch the direction that they go. So here's our storm zone for today. Western Oklahoma, you are really in this deal. That's Hobart over to Elk City, Weatherford, Clinton, up to Woodward, Alva, and Enid. And some of the data does bring these stronger storms into the Oklahoma City metro, but not all data. A lot of data lifts those stronger storms up to our north. We're talking very large hail to the size of tennis balls, 80-mile-per-hour winds. And yes, tornadoes are possible. So my advice to you today would be have your safe place ready to go, cleaned out, talk to your kids about what happens if you do have to get into that safe place, have a plan for your car if you have very large hail headed to your home because we don't want busted out windshields. Here's the cold front from yesterday. We had severe thunderstorm watches and thunderstorms during the overnight. A few of those were severe, 1 to 2 to even 3 inches of rain have fallen in far southern Oklahoma, and we will have the chance for a few spotty showers in our viewing area, but the bulk of the thunderstorms will be down in southeastern Oklahoma through the morning and into the afternoon. So right now from Katy, Hennepin, Pauls Valley, Paola, up to Purcell, Byers, and all this off to the east, thunderstorms and amazing rain. We will absolutely take it into the metro areas of some drizzle. It's not widespread, but it may become widespread as we go into the morning. Dense fog has developed as well, so cloud cover, fog, and drizzle all on the table for the morning. And notice the dense fog just to the west of the metro, El Reno to Okarche, Kingfisher, back to Tologa and May. So dense fog to patchy fog possible through the morning. Here's the live look from our Lucky Stars Skycam network, our Mathis home camera. 52 is our temperature right now. Our high yesterday was 53 degrees. So we have not budged much at all. 100% humidity. We've got 40s out to the west and 50s on the east side of the metro. So not worried about any freezing fog. We're well above freezing and our winds are very light, essentially calm here in Oklahoma City. Before we get to our severe chances for today, highs back in the 70s. A big warm up today with a strong south wind that pumps in that Gulf moisture. And again, thunderstorm chances highest to our south and east through the morning. A chance for a few spotty showers through the day here in Oklahoma City and kind of really statewide. Now watch what happens. 5 to 6 o'clock, thunderstorms take off in the south and west. And these will quickly become supercells, rotating thunderstorms. And just because a storm rotates does not mean it produces a tornado, but it can produce very large hail. Those updrafts can sustain that large hail. And again, we will watch and have our storm trackers on these storms in case they do produce tornadoes. So this is just one set of data, but it shows thunderstorms lifting off to the north and to the north and east, and that is a ways away from Oklahoma City. But again, some of the data does bring some of those storms much closer and some even really into the metro. So it's not out of the question that Oklahoma City sees some strong thunderstorms. What you're seeing here is CAPE, and that is convective available potential energy instability, and that continues to just increase into the afternoon, the evening from the southwest and up to the north. So that is where that environment is most favorable for those rotating thunderstorms. And again, this is a rotation tracker just to show you what those storms do as they travel from the southwest up to the north and east. So this morning, drizzle and showers possible really statewide. The highest chances for thunderstorms down at the south and east, a slight chance for a shower or two. This afternoon here in Oklahoma City, thunderstorm chances down to the south, and then starting at 5 o'clock down in southwestern Oklahoma through western Oklahoma and up into northern Oklahoma. That's where your chances are highest, a 40% chance here in Oklahoma City. And again, our storm zone, a moderate threat for severe weather up to tennis ball size hail in far western Oklahoma, and a moderate chance for a tornado. We will watch these storms very closely. Tonight, temperatures very, very warm. Tomorrow, winds are even stronger. Temperatures are even warmer, and we again have a severe weather risk. Most of that will be to our east, but we will still watch this very, very closely. The dry line sets up with the strong winds and low humidity. We'll watch fire danger as well back to the west. Thankfully, the weekend we are severe clear. We will have the chance for a few showers on Saturday morning. Cold front comes through. We are much cooler and we warm it up on Sunday. Another severe chance next Tuesday.
We'll be watching it, Megan. Thank you. It's an event students start coordinating at the beginning of the school year. By the spring semester, it is all go for Oklahoma Christian University's Spring Sing. Our Mike Glover shows us all this morning on this Something Good, and he goes back to school for it.
For the students and faculty at Oklahoma Christian University, there is no bigger event. It's called Spring Sing, and it brings out the best and the brightest of their talent.
They just do all of this intricate work to make this 5.5-minute show.
It's a variety show of sorts, completely produced by the students.
They make up their own storyline and they write new lyrics to songs.
Choreography, costumes, and all.
It is our biggest event that we have on our campus every year.
But this isn't just a show, it's a competition.
Very competitive for them that are on the stage.
8 campus service social clubs and the freshman class compete to have the best show.
Everyone goes full out, like no matter the size of the club, everyone is trying their best.
Nora and Jensen grew up coming to Spring Sing. And this year, they were chosen as the directors for the freshman class performance.
Nora and I, we worked really hard on it, and all the freshmen they put their all, and I don't care what placement we get, I just want to make the audience laugh.
That may be the proper thing to say, but the truth is...
We're gonna win.
Yeah, we're gonna win.
We're gonna win.
Thousands of people that come, and it's an alumni kind of reunion too. A lot of people that grew up loving this and did it in college come back with their kids.
This year's theme is Let's Go to the Movies, and the performances are open to the public.
It's just a really clean, family fun, friendly show.
Now we'll have the performance times as well as a link to buy tickets with this story on our website. Some of Oklahoma's most talented kids showcasing their talents. That is Something Good. I'm Mike Glover for Oklahoma's Own.
Yeah, I clocked those Back to the Future costumes. Looks pretty awesome. By the way, you can be one of those thousands attending at the Spring Sing tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday night at 7:30. Still ahead, Oklahoma City survives a close one in Madison Square Garden. How the Thunder sealed the win over the Knicks. And who was in attendance? We'll show you coming up. Welcome back. Oklahoma Task Force One is honored at the state capitol to show appreciation for all they've done. The Oklahoma City Fire Department says this multi-agency team has members from the Oklahoma City Fire and Police Departments and from Tulsa as well. They respond to disasters in order to provide life-saving work here and nationally. Of course, anywhere that there's a major weather event, whether it's a tornado or a hurricane, they respond, whether that's in the South or in Texas or Kansas or here. I mean, it can happen here as well. And we saw that last spring. And right now we're eyeing severe weather chances already to begin March.
Yeah, so today, this evening into the overnight, it is all about western Oklahoma. Today, big warm up. Our high was 53 yesterday. We're back to the 70s, a strong south wind. Here are your storm and rain chances here in Oklahoma City today. And then it's all about the west and the north. Later this evening into the overnight, we'll talk about the tornado and the hail threat coming up.
We hope Task Force One gets to rest easy this weekend.
I hope they sleep really good.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Hey, we'll be back right after this with Robin and Lacey. Good morning, Shay. We'll be back. Right now at 4:30, the state auditor's office releases its report on a special audit of the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. It was requested back in 2023. I'm Colby Thielen. We have a live report on what they say should change. It's coming up.
Plus, Oklahoma Highway Patrol releasing this crazy dash camera video of a wrong-way DUI driver right here in the city on the interstate. The breaking news update in just a moment.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Megan Gold. Severe weather chances ramp up in western Oklahoma today, talking a very large hail and a tornado threat. We'll talk about the latest timing and the threats for your hometown. It's coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good morning, everyone. 4:30 on your Thursday, and it is so foggy out there this morning.
It really is. Yeah, be safe when you're driving. Take your time. But this evening is when we really got to pay attention. Maybe don't get on the road. Let's turn to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Megan Gold standing by. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, guys. For folks in western Oklahoma, it would be a great idea to be home, have that safe place ready to go if you do have to get into it, and have those vehicles protected. We could have hail up to tennis balls in western Oklahoma. We'll talk all about it. But to get you out the door this morning, the cold front that stalled down in far southeastern Oklahoma sparked showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon, the evening, the overnight, with many spots picking up 1 to 2 to even 3 inches of rain, and continuing to see thunderstorms from Sulphur to Stonewall and Ada this morning. None of this severe. Could have some very, very small hail, but most of it just heavy rain and some lightning. And boy, we're grateful for the rain. Here into the metro, a little bit of drizzle will be possible through the morning, a shower or two, but you'll notice the dense fog, especially those of you on the northwest sides of the metro and back into western Oklahoma, Okarche to El Reno. Visibility less than a quarter of a mile. Back to Butler, Leedy, Vici, and Woodward. Dense fog there as well. So through the morning commute, expect, again, visibility issues, some drizzle, and then a chance for a few showers as we go into the rest of the day. Here's our Christensen cam. 52 is our temperature right now. 100% humidity. Temperatures in the 40s back to the west from Oklahoma City off to the east. We are in the 50s, and winds are light to calm in the metro and a little breezier up in the north and west. So let me track this out for you. By 5 to 6 o'clock, we'll watch for thunderstorms to develop down in the southwest and the Texas Panhandle, and these will quickly become supercells, rotating thunderstorms capable of very large hail, damaging winds, and again, a tornado or two. We'll talk all about that, the threats for tomorrow, more severe weather chances, and your 9-day forecast with your weekend. It's coming up.
Want to update you on some breaking news. You're looking live right now at Northwest Expressway and Wilshire. Oklahoma City police say a man taken to the hospital after he drives off the road, crashes into a boulder, and then flips up a manhole cover. Pretty wild scene. This was about 30 minutes ago. Their video that you're seeing right now. We know that officers are now trying to move the boulder off of the roadway. Officers did not say how badly the man was injured, just that he had to go to the hospital. We'll keep you updated on that story.
And developing this morning, police investigating after a woman is shot and killed in Enid. Officers say they found that woman shot at a home just before 8 o'clock last night. She died at the hospital. We also know police tried to talk to a man who refused to get out of his car at a nearby gas station. Unclear at this point if he was connected to that shooting scene. We are asking law enforcement right now. We'll let you know as those updates come in.
We're going to be going eastbound and westbound. Put your hands out the door now!
Wild scene right here. Oklahoma Highway Patrol releasing this dash camera video of the moments a state trooper stops an intoxicated wrong-way driver. Look how close he comes to the semi. Yikes. He nearly crashed into him head on. This was on the Turner Turnpike. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday morning. OHP says that trooper first saw the driver on I-35, also going the wrong way. He then got onto the Turner Turnpike the wrong way. Troopers say the driver's blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit. His name has not yet been released.
An investigation is underway this morning at OU Health Hospital, where a person was found dead in a private visitor bathroom at the hospital. We know a cleaning employee found the person deceased in the locked bathroom on Monday. It's not clear how that person died or how long they had been there. OU Health tells us they are saddened by the death and they're working closely with officials as they review this case.
A Vietnamese refugee who rebuilt his life in Oklahoma is now facing deportation. What was supposed to be a routine work permit check-in ended with ICE taking him into custody. News 9's Deanne Stein spoke with his family and has his story.
These photos of Hai Nguyen capture a story of family, fun, candid moments with his wife and young children, and special occasions he shared with his loved ones.
He's the pillar of support in my life.
His niece Teresa Lee says everything changed for their family this week after Nguyen was detained by ICE.
I think it's really difficult to kind of put into words all of the emotions that I feel.
Lee says her uncle immigrated to the U.S. as a child and later got his green card. But while he was in college, he was arrested for possession of marijuana.
He did his community service and got the charge expunged, but he was never eligible to gain citizenship here again.
Lee says Nguyen did have a valid work permit and never missed an immigration check-in. But this year, despite his expunged record, he was detained over an old removal order tied to that crime.
It makes me sad. I think that's the best word that I can say.
She says Lee moved on from his mistake, graduating from college, getting married, raising a family, paying taxes, and working at Hobby Lobby for 15 years.
You know, you have someone who brings this light and energy and always reminds you that it's not a bad life, it's just a bad day. And then he's not there.
In Oklahoma City, Deanne Stein, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
Lee says her uncle could stay in custody for up to 180 days, waiting to be deported to Vietnam. If he's not, the family plans to petition for his release. In fact, the family says Hobby Lobby put Nguyen on a leave of absence until April, so if he's released, he will be able to return to work.
Your time now 4:37, taking a live foggy look this morning at our nation's capital. Oklahoma's Commissioner of Public Safety was there yesterday testifying on undocumented immigrants and commercial driver's licenses. All of this comes as Congress is working to tighten the rules surrounding those CDLs. Governor Kevin Stitt ordered OHP to work with ICE to help remove undocumented immigrants driving semis under an operation called Operation Guardian last year. Commissioner Tim Tipton says half of all drivers whose trucks they inspected were here illegally, but they had valid driver's licenses, with many issued from states like California, Illinois, and Pennsylvania.
There are loopholes in the federal standards and statutes that allow almost any state to issue it.
Closing those loopholes is Tipton's hope for any legislation that comes out of these hearings.
State Auditor Cindy Byrd releases her findings following an audit on the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. It focused on 5 areas of concern. Let's go to News 9's Brianna Brown. She joins us live from our newsroom to fill us in on all of those findings. Brianna, good morning.
Good morning, Colby. Yes, in the newly released audit, Oklahoma State Auditor Cindy Byrd says her office did not find any wrongdoing by the State Turnpike Authority. Now, the audit was requested by Attorney General Gentner Drummond in 2023. He says several state lawmakers and state employees expressed concerns with OTA's conduct. Byrd said that OTA did not follow its normal practices for contracting during the selection process of this project, which could cause prices to be higher because without competitive bidding, contractors have no incentive to lower their prices.
Many of the public's most pressing concerns about OTA can only be resolved by amending legislation. Given the extensive number of concerns voiced by the public and echoed by the Attorney General, the legislature may want to consider revisiting relevant statutes and creating additional guardrails for OTA.
Now, the audit focused on areas of concern related to the Access Oklahoma Long Range Turnpike Improvement Plan. You can find that full audit report as well as statements from OTA and Attorney General Gentner Drummond on our website, news9.com. Live in the newsroom, Brianna Brown, Oklahoma Zone, News 9.
All right, Brianna, thank you. And State Auditor Byrd said that this is the first investigative audit of OTA in nearly 80 years.
Today, the House Rules Committee at the state capitol will hear a joint resolution to possibly take state superintendent off of the ballot. Under the resolution, the State House of Representatives would give the governor a list of 6 nominees for state superintendent. So no longer an elected position, an appointed one. The governor's pick would then have to be confirmed by the state Senate. If this passes, it will be put on the ballot as a state question to make sure the public's okay with it. If Oklahomans approve this change, it would go into effect November of 2034. The committee hearing starts at 11 this morning. We will be there.
We're watching severe weather chances today and tomorrow. They're watching it at the state capitol as well. In fact, a bill designed to protect homeowners from high-pressure storm repair sales is now headed to the Senate. The Oklahoma Homeowner Repair Contract Prevention Act aims to protect homeowners from solicitation at their doors for repairs. The bill gives homeowners a 5-day cancellation window for certain repair contracts signed in person after being approached by contractors. It passed the House 82-4. It now heads to the state Senate. We'll be following. Hopefully no damage reports that are going to come out of tonight and tomorrow, but still the chances are there.
Got to be weather aware today and tomorrow. Let's check back in with Megan. Megan, good morning. How's it looking?
Good morning. Well, fog for many Oklahomans this morning here in the metro. Visibility is decreasing and the chance for drizzle, a few showers through the day. Tracking thunderstorms down in southern Oklahoma with little visibility and wind shear. It's possible we see a little hail, but it's all about this evening with large hail and even tornadoes possible. We'll talk about it coming up.
Also ahead, the Thunder wrap up a busy road trip in the Big Apple with a big win over the Knicks. A recap from New York next.
Hey, we want to get you ready for severe weather season, and it is upon us. You can meet our entire News 9 weather team. Megan will be there, Lacey, David, our storm trackers, Mason Dunn, Bob Mills, Sky News 9, all this weekend. It's the 10th annual Severe Weather Expo, Awareness Expo, I should say. And it's going to be from 11 to 2 at the Penn Square Mall. And awareness is really what it's all about, because we need to be weather aware even going into today.
Oh, yeah. Man, coming in, the fog is so thick, the drizzle. I couldn't even see the Devon Tower.
And we had drizzle essentially all day yesterday. Yeah, so we did pick up good rains in northwestern Oklahoma with the storms that we had yesterday. Eastern Oklahoma has really been the winner when it comes to the amount of rain that's fallen. But let's talk about today, because there are severe threats, mainly in western Oklahoma, for thunderstorms, for supercells to develop. That was Colby clearing his throat there. So this morning, fog and drizzle possible. Thunderstorms continue down in southeastern Oklahoma, where there is still an environment that is conducive to some small hail, maybe some gusty winds and heavy rain, but no large threat. There was a higher threat during the afternoon and evening yesterday. This afternoon, we turned very warm and windy, big warm up back to the 70s, isolated showers and thunderstorms to the south and east. And then this evening, those supercells take off to the west, talking a wind, a large hail, and a tornado threat. And overnight, those thunderstorms press to the east and will weaken. So just to show you the rain that we've picked up here over the last 24 to 48 hours, up in northern Oklahoma, Woodward, just under an inch. Alva, same deal there to Cherokee, 1 inch. And then down to the south and east, there have been pockets of 1 to 1.5 inches of rain. And along the Oklahoma-Arkansas state line, Westville, 3 inches of rain there. Tulsa, just about 1/4 of an inch. So thunderstorms kind of continuing to the south and east of I-44 during the overnight hours. Nothing severe, but heavy rain and some lightning for those of you from, let's see, the Pauls Valley area. A stronger storm over you all right now to Stratford, to Maxwell, to the Bing and Ada area, over to Steedman. And this is great rain, guys. So not seeing anything in the way of some large hail, maybe some pea to dime-sized hail. But into the metro right now, drizzle developing down on the south side. And I think we'll really start to see this increase as we go through the morning here. Here's the live look from our Mathis home cam. Reduced visibility. This camera is a little off the ground, so the higher our cameras are off the ground, the harder it is to see and the thicker that fog is, and the cloud deck up off the surface. At the ground level, visibility a little better, but even then, be safe as you hit the roadways. Humidity at 100%. 40s back to the west, 50s for everybody else, so comfortable temperature-wise, and winds are light to calm, a little breezier up in the north and west. Here's visibility right now. Visibility really decreasing on the west sides of the metro, back into western Oklahoma, Butler, Leedy, Vicey. Your visibility is down to about 1/4 of a mile. Into the metro right now, again, it's not all that bad, probably down to about 1 mile. You go back to Piedmont, Richland, El Reno, and Okarche, and you've got really dense fog. So dense fog possible through about 10 o'clock this morning, when the sunshine should start to burn it off. Let me walk you through future next gen. Scattered showers and thunderstorms continue through the morning down to the south and east. It's not out of the question that 1 or 2 of those kind of sneaks into the metro, and that the drizzle gets heavy enough that it's just light rain. That'll continue into the afternoon, mainly to the south and east. A slight chance for an isolated shower or 2, really kind of statewide. And then it's all about the 5 to 6 o'clock hour. Watch what happens as thunderstorms take off in the Texas Panhandle and southwestern Oklahoma. And these will quickly, with the environment at hand, become supercells moving off to the north and east. Now, this particular data set does not bring these storms into the metro. There are a few sets of data that say thunderstorms come into the metro, so we will watch that very closely. That is not locked in, only about a 40% chance, and we'll watch for large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado threat with that. Showing you here the instability as we go into the afternoon. It'll be highest in the southwest and the west, the heating of the day, and also some wind shear. A lot of dynamics at play for us to have these rotating thunderstorms. And what you're seeing here is future rotation. And this is just a set of data to show you where those storms could rotate and potentially produce a tornado. So again, this morning, shower and drizzle chances, thunderstorms to the south and east. This afternoon, a big warm up, 70s, a few spots right around 80 degrees down in the southwest. And this afternoon, shower chances, thunderstorm chances. And then by 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock tonight, with thunderstorms taking off in the southwest. And again, here is our zone from Ponca City to Enid, back down to Clinton, Elk City, and Sayre. The threat is highest for you all, talking tennis ball sized hail and winds to 80 miles per hour and a moderate tornado threat. Tonight, temperatures back into the 50s and 60s. Tomorrow, we warm it back up even more so, and another severe risk for your Friday. Here's your full 9-day forecast. Cold front comes through in your Saturday. Other than a few showers in the morning, it's cool but quiet. Warmer on Sunday and another severe threat next Tuesday. Guys, back to you.
The Oklahoma City Thunder finish a 3-day, 4-game road trip with a big win in the Big Apple. They beat the Knicks last night.
Yeah, it was a close one, coming down to a last-second shot that missed. Wow. Final score 103-100. Our Thunder reporter Steve McGee has the recap from New York.
The Thunder do it again here at Madison Square Garden. They haven't lost here since now 2017. Close game. Knicks had a chance to put the game into overtime, but they missed 2 threes before the final buzzer. Chet Holmgren, 28 points, had 6 threes. One more, he would have had a career high, but Chet performing well in such a great arena.
You know, it's always cool to have a good game in the Mecca. I've only played here one other time, and I'd say this is definitely, you know, my best game in the Garden. So that's awesome. And on top of that, we were able to win the game.
The Garden is fun to play at just because the aroma of the building, the way the court's lit up, the way the crowd's a little like darkened. It's fun to play. And then all the historic games that have happened here. It's always like a get-up game for sure.
When you're the reigning MVP, you look good in anything. SGA with a fashion statement last night. The Thunder with a statement win here in New York. From Madison Square Garden in downtown New York City, Steve McGee, Oklahoma's own.
Is the Shea plushie, which
wow.
you can now order in the Thunder shop. I don't know. I'm just kidding. We appreciate it. Hey, by the way, big recognition coming up here on News 9. A big night for News 9 legend. Why former sports director Dean Blevins is being honored by Norman Public Schools. It's coming up.
After 43 days of being apart, a man and his best friend are finally back together. Look at this sweet reunion. You can see the heartfelt moment that 10-year-old dog Rocky and his owner finally are back together. Oh my goodness, Rocky actually escaped from a pet sitter's back in December. With the help of volunteers, 43 days later, they finally found the dog, and it just kind of melts your heart once you realize they're back together again.
It took Rocky a minute to process. He's like, wait, what's going on? Oh my goodness, that's my dog.
I missed you.
So he escaped from a pet
sitter.
sitter? He didn't like the pet sitter.
No, he was probably trying to get back home to Dad, and they got lost in the way.
Such a happy ending.
I know. We're all dog lovers around here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also loving some rain. We got a lot. Well, not a lot in terms of totals yesterday, but it was all day long.
Not in the metro, but there were spots down to the south and east. Today is all about severe weather chances. So let's take graphics here. Big warm up today from the 50s yesterday back to the 70s this afternoon. We turn warm and unstable, gusty south winds, and by 5 o'clock we will watch for supercells to go up in the southwest, talking large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado or two possible. The threat shifts to the east for your Friday. Lacey's got more on that coming up here in just a few minutes.
Also coming up, Iran issues a stark warning to the United States after the U.S. strikes an Iranian warship. It killed dozens. The latest developments from the Capitol. It's ahead.
Wish he could have known one more time that we all loved him, because he was so amazing and kind.
A hurting family mourning the loss of their beloved U.S. soldier killed by Iranian strikes. I'm Lacey Lowry. Right now at 5 o'clock, the connection that sergeant has to Oklahoma. Plus this.
I really miss little Leo every single day. He's the sweetest man, like little boy I've ever met. So I want to help save some other families' world.
Oklahoma families taking their fight to the nation's capital in order to protect young kids from fentanyl. I'm Colby Thielen, the change those parents want to see.
And I'm meteorologist Lacey Swope. We're tracking heavy rain and thunderstorms this morning. It's a soggy commute for many. Other areas have fog and drizzle, and then a round of severe storms more likely into the afternoon and evening. The latest on that tornado zone coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
We're all a little foggy on a Thursday morning, but what is clear, we want to remind you, we are live right now on our News 9 YouTube channel. You can scan this QR code right here on your screen. You'll go on there, it'll take you to the link. You can subscribe, leave any questions, comments in the live chat. We'll get to them throughout the show.
Another day to be weather aware today and tomorrow. Yesterday, kind of a steady little drizzle or good rain for a lot of folks in Oklahoma.
It was nice. It was kind of like, okay, I'll take the drizzle. It maybe doesn't add up to that much in terms of totals. Let's talk to Lacey Swope about it. How much rain here in the metro did we get, Lacey?
A few 1/100ths of an inch, less than a tenth of an inch, but it made the pavement wet. It was soggy for sure. We have more rain possible tonight, but many areas stay dry overnight tonight. It's mainly western Oklahoma. The metro could see storms. This morning, we're tracking heavy rain and thunderstorms that aren't going down to the south, but across the metro, we are seeing more fog and more light drizzle. That's our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. The thickest fog right now is just to the west of the Oklahoma City area and then back into western Oklahoma. Be careful. That's what will greet you. And then this afternoon, it's a low to a moderate threat for severe weather. This takes you into the evening, into the night, up to tennis ball size hail, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and tornadoes possible. While you were sleeping, showers and storms, they have been ongoing down to the south, and we're still tracking heavy rain right now in Pauls Valley, Wynnewood, Winnett. Within this, some pretty intense lightning. I've been watching from our Norman cam pointed down towards Pauls Valley. Every now and again, you see a strike or two of lightning, but Pauls Valley, that's a loud storm that's coming through. It's not severe. Winds with it 45 miles per hour. Maybe some pea-sized hail there crossing up and about to cross Highway 19. And that's going to make its way over towards Wewoka, Holdenville, and all of this will keep tracking off towards the east. We might get a little bit of drizzle to set up here in the metro, but right now that's a slight chance. Thicker fog and drizzle back to the west, and everything will keep pushing off to the east. There's our Norman cam right now. If you get lucky, you might see one of those lightning strikes. 51 is our current temperature. It's cloudy, it's cool. That boundary is to the south, but today that boundary gets lifted back as a warm front. Rich Gulf air moves in. We get to the mid-upper 70s, 80s in the west and southwest, and that's where thunderstorms start to take off after 5 p.m. They will likely be isolated for a while, as Lonely Storm is a very dangerous storm, but it will likely merge into more of a complex late in the evening and the night. So we'll talk about the tornado threat, the hail threat. Does this reach the metro? That's all coming up in full weather. Back to you.
Updating breaking news, police say a man is rushed to the hospital after he drove off the road on Northwest Expressway and crashed into a boulder. Look at all this damage right here. It happened near Northwest Expressway and Wilshire. We first told you about it at 4 this morning, so about an hour ago. Officers say the vehicle also flipped up a manhole cover while it was careening away. Police have not said how badly the man was injured, just that he's in the hospital.
Police are investigating after a woman is shot and killed in Enid. Officers say they found that woman shot at a home just before 8 o'clock last night. She died at the hospital. We also know police tried to talk to a man who refused to get out of his car at a nearby gas station. Unclear right now if those two cases are connected. We've reached out to Enid police for those details. We'll bring them to you as soon as they come in.
In Oklahoma City, OU health officials say they found a dead body in a private visitor bathroom at the hospital. A spokesperson says a cleaning crew found the body in the locked bathroom on Monday. OU Health says it's now working with authorities on this case. Now to the latest on the war with Iran. This morning, Iran warning that the U.S. will, quote, bitterly regret sinking one of its warships near Sri Lanka.
Yeah, the attack killed dozens. The first time in 80 years, a torpedo sunk an enemy vessel. The Pentagon released the last 2 names of the 6 American soldiers killed in Kuwait over the weekend. Chief Warrant Officer Robert Marzan and Major Jeffrey O'Brien.
At the U.S. Capitol, the Senate rejected a war powers resolution that would have required the Trump administration to get congressional approval to continue military operations in Iran. The House will vote on a similar effort today.
We know one of the 6 U.S. soldiers killed by Iranian strikes in Kuwait actually served here, trained here, that is, in Oklahoma. 20-year-old Sergeant Declan Cody graduated from basic training from Fort Sill in 2024.
These are photos his family shared with us. His family says Cody's unit left for Kuwait in September, and he loved what he was doing so much that he considered an extension.
One thing he did say is that, you know, I haven't had a lot of jobs, but I've had jobs in the civilian world, and I've been over here for 6 months, and I work 12-plus hour days. I work 6 to 7 days a week. And he goes, I love it.
I can't help but think just he was my little brother, and he was probably really scared, even if he didn't want people to know. So I just wish he got to know one more time that we all loved him, because he was so amazing and kind.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to that grieving family. Declan Cody trained as a specialist. He was posthumously promoted to sergeant. His family says he would have turned 21 this May.
Oklahoma families at the nation's capital fighting to prevent fentanyl deaths among children. The families of Rain Reese and Leo Tao are trying to turn their grief into action. News 9's Elizabeth Fitz shows us how they're bringing their fight at the state level to D.C.
In Senate and House Judiciary hearings on Wednesday, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem delivered an emotional testimony with Angel families sitting behind her. She focused on the impact of open border policies and fentanyl on families, acknowledging several lives lost.
Leo Toe, Haley King, Rain Reese, Wesley Green.
As she listed the names,
I just started crying because it's like I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be a part of these things, but I'd give it all up just to have her back.
19-year-old Rain Reese died in May 2023 after taking a pill laced with fentanyl. Her mom, Carla Carlock, pushed for Rain's law, which requires Oklahoma schools to teach fentanyl abuse prevention education. She stood alongside Jacob Toe, who lost his 3-year-old son Leo to a fentanyl overdose after he was returned to his mother's care.
She was tested for drugs, but the drug panel didn't include fentanyl.
Under Leo's law, which his dad has championed, the Oklahoma Department of Human Services would be required to conduct mandatory fentanyl testing in child welfare cases where drug use is suspected.
So this is a very common sense issue. A lot of people I've met in the Capitol today, even senators, thought this was already a thing.
Toe says lawmakers from California, Tennessee, and New Jersey have expressed interest in bringing similar laws to their states. Elizabeth Fitz, Oklahoma's Own.
Now, Rain's law was passed and signed into law here in Oklahoma last week. Leo's law is not law yet. The bill still has to pass the House and Senate, plus get the governor's signature. And it's deadline day at the Capitol. Bills must be passed out of committee in the chamber it was authored in by today. If not, those bills do not move forward for the rest of the session.
Oklahoma Task Force One honored at the state capitol for showing the Oklahoma standard during crisis. This is a multi-agency team that has members from all over the metro. They travel across the nation to help with search and rescue efforts. This is the citation of appreciation. It also recognizes the team's 21 canines who are, quote, very good boys, according to the official citation.
We've been out there as they're deployed to Louisiana or Texas or wherever there's a disaster, and they're excited to go. I mean, it's hard because you're away from your family, but they want to help and show that Oklahoma standard across the nation.
They rush to help in any crisis, so congrats to them. Your time now, 5:09. Let's check back in with Lacey Swope. Lace, so foggy out there this morning.
Well, in the metro down south, very heavy rain and thunderstorms. Aerial flood advisory in effect. Had some weak rotation, about
about 30 minutes ago with the storm that was crossing over towards Ada. We're watching those storms closely. They're not severe north in the metro. We definitely have the fog. It's very thick into western Oklahoma, but look at the heavy rain making its way through. We'll talk about what to expect with severe storm chances later today, a moderate risk. The latest info weather.
And still to come, Oklahoma well represented at the Capitol this week. In fact, our Oklahoma Safety Commissioner, Tim Tipton, was there. How states' efforts to crack down on illegal immigration is setting an example in the nation's capital. We'll show you. It's right after this. We want to make sure that you are severe weather ready, including today. You can meet our entire News 9 weather team. David Lacey will be there, our storm trackers, Bob Mills, Sky News 9 with Mason Dunn. This weekend, it's the 10th annual Severe Weather Awareness Expo, Saturday from 11 to 2 at Penn Square Mall. But don't wait till Saturday. Be weather aware starting today.
You guys always time this perfectly because we typically have severe weather around the Severe Weather Awareness Expo.
So on the calendar, this week is always Severe Weather Preparedness Week, just because the first week of March is the beginning of our spring season, and that's when we typically start to see the uptick in severe weather, which is happening. It's already been happening in parts of the state over the last couple of days.
Our friends to the south getting some pretty good rain. Did you say there was almost some rotation?
There was some rotation. We were watching it just north of Sulphur, moved over towards Rock. It was weak kind of in the mid-levels, but it just just tells you kind of how the environment is setting up today.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot more energy, stronger storms this afternoon after we get the heating of the day.
What's the timeline there for this afternoon?
For Western Oklahoma after 5 p.m. excuse me. After 5 p.m. After 5 for the metro, our rain and storm chances are after midnight.
Okay, we need the rain, that's for sure.
We need the rain. Folks down south are getting very heavy rain. In fact, aerial flood advisory is now out down near Sulphur, all the way up to just south of Pauls Valley. 1 to 2 inches of rain has fallen. Very heavy thunderstorms there. Where you're north of this, which is north of the boundary, we have fog that's been settling in across central Oklahoma and in the northwest. I'll show you more on that in a minute. There's the thunderstorm we've been watching. Now, the one that had a little rotation with it earlier is now all the way over here near Steedman, but a strong storm coming up near Stratford. I know there's a lot of lightning with it. It's noisy. It's not severe, but it is dumping a lot of water, and you might have some pretty big ponding on the roadway. Some small hail up to pea size and maybe 45-mile-per-hour winds. So there's the flood advisory from Davis to Roff, back up to just south of Bing. Nearly 2.5 inches of rain has fallen this morning, and then also from Tishomingo down to Wapanucka. So that's where the rain is. Showers from Etowah to Tecumseh, get a little lightning just south of Shawnee, and it's just not going to make it here to the Oklahoma City metro. We need the rain, but we got some chances for drizzle with some cloud cover and some fog, thicker fog off into northeast Oklahoma. And let me just show you the views from our cameras on our Lucky Star Skycam network. The cameras are socked in, but see the driving shots? Our news trackers are out, and really visibility is fine in Oklahoma City. But back to the west on the map, the fog is much thicker. Once you get over into Canadian County, back over to Leedy, up to Woodward, and it'll be there for the next several hours. Fog and some drizzle. Meanwhile, where temperatures are in the 50s, 51 degrees right now on our Lucky Star Skycam network in Norman, and it's 49 in El Reno, 46 in Woodward. The boundary that we've been talking about all week is stalled to our south. That's where the rich Gulf moisture is. That's where winds are out of the south. Right now, dew points are in the lower mid 60s down here. This is going to lift today up to the north as a warm front. Instability increases. We get hot. We get a little muggy. 76 in Hobart, 80 in Lawton, 78 in Altus. The dry line sets up in the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle today, and storms will start to take off. Now, for western Oklahoma, this is not the metro, western Oklahoma, you're dry through the afternoon. A few thunderstorms start to pop. They're isolated in the initial, so from 5 to 6, expecting those to develop. They become more of a complex through the evening, 9, 10, 11, and then overnight tonight, they move out of western Oklahoma. What does that mean for the metro? Most of this misses the Oklahoma City metro. This afternoon, a few spotty showers, mostly dry this evening, and then around 11 o'clock midnight, thunderstorms will start to approach from the west, and they may linger off and on through about 3 a.m. Now, statewide, it looks like this. Dry this afternoon, 20% chance, low to a moderate threat for those severe storms with big hail, damaging winds, and a tornado threat. The big potent storm system is coming on to the west coast. It's coming up and approaching the Rockies, and the energy from that will fuel storms that'll move pretty quickly, honestly, this evening. And the chances are going up for good rains out west. I do think these storms move pretty fast, but they're going to be very efficient rain makers. The plan is they move up towards Enid, Ponca City, and Weekend, which brings us on the tail end in Oklahoma City with a 40% chance of getting a few showers and storms. Hail with these? Quarter golf ball, maybe up to tennis ball size hail. Not every storm will produce that, but some could. So if you have the means to get your vehicle in the garage, please do so. And that's big enough hail that could cause some damage to roofs and things like that. But again, not every storm will have hail that big. That'd be the maximum. These storms will go up spinning, which just means the winds, with wind shear, winds are turning with height, very common with this type of a setup. And as those storms rotate, they'll make their way to the northeast. That does not mean they're producing tornadoes, but the tornado threat is there. And honestly, the way the wind shear and the low-level jet ramps up after sunset today, that tornado threat does bump up some. So from Clinton to Cheyenne to Sayre to Mangum, back down to Hollis, it's a low to a moderate threat for a tornado today. Trackers will be out today. Helicopter will be in the air. David and the team will be here. I'll be back this afternoon, and we'll watch these storms. We'll see what happens. And then tomorrow, that main upper level wave is getting closer. That shoves the dry line into Oklahoma, 80s behind it and dry, with a 30% chance of rain in Oklahoma City tomorrow and tomorrow evening. Higher chance will be off towards the east, and where we have that threat for higher end storms is going to be from Ada to Tulsa to McAllister. We told you this zone will still shift around some, and honestly, it may shift even more. We'll have to see. Still a day tomorrow to be aware, be plugged in, because there'll be some big storms, but I think that threat is moving eastward with the way this setup is developing. Still some showers down south on Saturday, 55 degrees, 70 on Sunday. And guys, we'll have more storm chances. We'll do it again come Tuesday of next week. Back to you.
Lacey, thank you. Oklahoma's Public Safety Commissioner just testified at the nation's capital all about Operation Guardian.
That is the name of the state's campaign to remove undocumented immigrants by targeting commercial driver's licenses. Our Washington Bureau Chief Alex Cameron has more.
Well, when President Trump returned to office last year, Governor Stitt ordered the Highway Patrol to begin working with ICE to help remove undocumented immigrants in the state. That cooperation took many forms, including what became known as Operation Guardian.
To date, we've arrested over 450 commercial motor drivers.
DPS Commissioner Tim Tipton says half of the drivers whose trucks they've inspected under Operation Guardian didn't have legal immigration status and yet had valid commercial driver's licenses, many issued by California, Illinois, and Pennsylvania.
But there are loopholes in the federal standards and statutes that allow almost any state to issue it.
Closing those loopholes is Tipton's hope for any legislation that emerges from today's hearing. Critics say this is yet another effort to scapegoat immigrants and that the law already prohibits anyone without legal work authorization to get a CDL.
I just hope that they understand that this is a major issue that's creating a public safety issue.
Major Jansen Idlet says even if some may have proper work papers, they don't speak and understand English and don't have the proper training.
Every time our troopers on the road go out and they stop CMVs on a daily basis, and it's routine that they stop one of these drivers that should not be operating a commercial motor vehicle.
They say driving an 80,000-pound truck has to be taken more seriously.
And we can't just let anybody be able to drive those trucks and think that we're going to be able to keep, our motoring public safe.
I'll continue to follow it. In our Washington Bureau, I'm Oklahoma's own Alex Cameron.
Still to come, Oklahoma's own sports broadcasting icon, the beloved Dean Blevins, is honored by his alma mater. We'll take you inside next.
It's a lot of kids that have gone through Norman Public Schools, and to just be on a short list to be recognized is pretty special. And Norman is a special school system.
Oh, a special honor for our former News 9 sports director, Dean Blevins. He was inducted into the Norman Public Schools Hall of Honor last night.
Aww.
Yeah, he spent years, of course, covering Oklahoma school sports and was a standout athlete himself. This recognition honors him as one of the district's most accomplished athletes.
Way to go, Dean.
We love Dean.
I love that. Oh, my goodness.
What a career he had, not only athletically, but then covering athletics.
Yes.
And here at News 9.
Just such a storied career on so many levels. We love you, Dean. Congratulations.
Congrats. Let's turn now to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lacey Swope standing by with a look at your Thursday, Lacey.
Hey, good morning, guys. Right now, we're tracking thunderstorms down to the south, just moved through Pauls Valley. They're pretty intense. They're not severe. Heavy rain within those. Some fog going on through central and western Oklahoma. And this afternoon and evening, be weather aware. Thunderstorms take off. They'll try to rotate. Big storms with wind, hail, and a tornado threat. We'll time it out and talk about if they reach the metro. That's coming up.
Still to come, the findings for an audit into potential wrongdoing at the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority is now out. It's public. We break down what it says. That story and more coming up at 5:30. You're watching News 9 this morning.
watching Oklahoma's own News 9 this morning.
Good morning. Glad you're with us. It is 5:30, and we got some storms firing up right now down south.
Absolutely. We need the rain so badly, and of course it comes in the form of storms this morning. And then if you're here in the city, fog and drizzle out there.
Yeah, we're going to ask Lacey Swope about the timeline for the metro because we need the rain too. Let's turn to the Bob Mills Weather Center now. Lacey?
Good morning, guys. It's kind of three things we're watching this morning. So we've got the thunderstorms to the south, some heavy rain, fog going on in portions of the state. It's much more dense west of I-35. And then the third will be severe weather, which is looking more and more likely for your afternoon, evening, and even into tonight. This morning, it's been the rain, the storms to the south. A few of these pulsed up, and they were borderline severe there for a while as they were making their way off near Ada. There was a little bit of hail and also weak circulation. These are not severe at the moment, but still some pretty intense lightning near Stratford, near Ada, heavy rain over Byers, and this has dumped a lot of water crossing 77, 177. Remember, turn around, don't drown. If you're driving in these areas and there is water over the roadway, turn around, find an alternate route. There's enough water that has fallen in a short period of time. We could see some flooding. Gwinnett to St. Louis to Seminole to Wewoka, heavy downpours there, and there's some drizzle over Lake Thunderbird near Norman. No drizzle right now in Oklahoma City, but we do have that fog deck just up a little bit. Let me show you the view on our Lucky Star Skycam network as you're hitting the roadways. There is some thicker fog where it's more dense. You will have drizzle, but you can see our trackers that are out right now, our news trackers, they're not really being impacted by the fog visibility wise. So it's not terrible in central Oklahoma. Now it's worse out west. Let me show you what it looks like. You get over into Canadian County, it is less than a quarter-mile visibility. Same thing from Leedy to Cheyenne and back up to Woodward. It's dense, and in those areas there'll be some pretty heavy drizzle. 51 is the temp at Will Rogers. 40s in the northwest. That cold front is still stalled to the south. Now today, our next storm system approaches. The mid-level winds and the upper-level winds start to pick up from the south. That actually lifts the surface back as a warm front. Warm fronts, they have a tendency to provide more wind shear, which causes storms to go up spinning. South of that, we'll be in the 70s, the 80s. The dry line sits up out west, and there's a low to a moderate threat today for strong to severe storms. Starting at about 5 o'clock, as early as 5 o'clock, maybe 6 or 7 before storms make it into southwest Oklahoma. The plan is they will ride up to the northeast, and the tail end of those storms will have a chance to make it down into the metro. Winds are currently light. We're pretty stable out there. No threat for severe weather in central Oklahoma. This afternoon, quiet. It is this evening that those storms start to take off. We'll talk about the wind zone, and the very latest tornado zone is coming up.
We do want to remind you right now we are live streaming on the News 9 YouTube channel. You can scan this QR code. It'll take you straight to that channel. Just subscribe and then leave us a comment in the live chat. We will read some of those comments and questions throughout the newscast.
5:32 right now. We now know the results of an audit looking into the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority.
That audit was requested 2 years ago, and the results highlight 5 areas of concern for the agency. News 9's Brianna Brown in the newsroom with the breakdown of the findings. Brianna, good morning.
Good morning, Lacey. Yes, in the newly released audit, Oklahoma State Auditor Cindy Byrd says her office did not find any wrongdoing by the State Turnpike Authority. Now, that audit was requested by Attorney General Gentner Drummond in 2023. He says several state lawmakers and state employees expressed concerns with OTA's conduct. Now, Byrd said that OTA did not follow its normal practices for contracting during the selection process of this project, and this could cause prices to be higher because without competitive bidding, contractors have no incentive to lower their prices.
Many of the public's most pressing concerns about OTA can only be resolved by amending legislation. Given the extensive number of concerns voiced by the public and echoed by the Attorney General, the legislature may want to consider revisiting relevant statutes and creating additional guardrails for OTA.
The audit focuses on areas of concern related to the Access Oklahoma Long Range Turnpike Improvement Plan. You can find the full audit report as well as statements from OTA and Attorney General Drummond on our website, news9.com. Live in the newsroom, Brianna Brown for Oklahoma's own News 9.
Brianna, thank you. State Auditor Byrd, who is currently running for Lieutenant Governor, says this is the first investigative audit of OTA in nearly 80 years. She will join us live coming up at 9 a.m. this morning to share more insight into her findings. State lawmakers have filed some bills directly changing how that agency operates, including one that would create a Turnpike Legislative Oversight Board. Now, that bill is still moving through committees, but if it passes, it would require the OTA to report to that board annually.
We're going to be going eastbound and westbound. Put your hands out the door now!
Dashcam video from Oklahoma Highway Patrol shows those moments that troopers stopped an intoxicated driver going eastbound in the westbound lanes of the Turner Turnpike. OHP says that driver went the wrong way on I-35 first before eventually getting onto the Turnpike the wrong way. That was around 3 a.m. We brought it to you as breaking news. You can see in that video troopers cut across the grass, almost crashing to get that driver. OHP says that driver's blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit. A homeowner is now left to clean up the mess after coming home to find a car smashed into her home. Police say it started as a crash involving 3 cars. This was at Northwest 63rd in May around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Police say one of the cars then went off the road and hit the house. That driver was taken to the hospital. Officers have not shared what caused that crash.
Governor Kevin Stitt signs a resolution to stop people from getting new driver's licenses if they change their gender. Previously, Service Oklahoma could issue new ID cards with the person's updated name and gender if the applicant showed proof from doctors of a physical or psychological sex change. But lawmakers passed a resolution to remove those state rules last week, and then this week, the governor signed it into law. There is new drone technology hoping to stop active shooter threats at schools much faster. It's called the Campus Guardian Angel, and we got to see officials test it out at Deer Creek Education Services Center in Edmond.
Yeah, the company says the drones have speakerphones, so officials can communicate without stepping inside the building. Those drones also have sirens and pepper spray to distract a suspect while officers work to stop the threat.
So our system sits dormant in place in every hallway, in every cafeteria, and then a moment a shooter starts his killing, we respond and immediately engage with the shooter. If he's firing at the drones or he's running from the drones, he's no longer killing kids.
Well, it's still scary. The drones have not been implemented here, but they will be deployed in Florida and some parts of Texas.
Tell you what, they're using drones for everything now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the future.
I mean, firefighting, active shooter threats, it's kind of incredible.
It is, and the technology is so far advanced, it's really wild. They're using drones in the weather as well. Let's turn to Lacey Swope. I don't think those drones would last very long in some of the severe weather that we have here, Lacey, but
there are drones that fly in and out of tornadoes and come out unscathed. Absolutely, yes. They're very cool, taking pictures inside of tornadoes. The technology is amazing. How cool of an idea is that, though, for an active shooter?
The application of it.
Yes, absolutely. Kind of the sky's the limit on what it can do, like almost like bees buzzing around, distracting. It's wild. This morning, we're tracking heavy rain down to the south, intense lightning, thunderstorms. We had severe weather overnight down in south central Oklahoma. Nothing is severe right now, but we've had a lot of waterfall from Pauls Valley back up to Stratford this afternoon and evening. Trackers are headed west, guys. We'll be checking in with Mason Dunn and Bob Mills Sky News 9 for the threat for severe storms. What's the latest tornado threat, the timing, and will they make the metro? It's coming up.
Taking a live look on the Lucky Star Skycam network. Squint your eyes really hard. It's foggy out there. We have a traffic report if you're about to head out the door. It's next on 9. OU softball is changing their schedules for the Okana Invitational because of inclement weather this weekend. The Sooners will not play tomorrow, but they will face Abilene Christian and Louisiana once each day on Saturday and Sunday. They're trying to adjust for what might happen tomorrow.
Abilene and Louisiana are saying, oh, thank you.
But I get it. Better safe than sorry.
Adjusting, yeah.
Yeah, adjusting. But honestly, in the metro, storm chances are pretty low for tomorrow as of right now, all because of what's happening today and tonight, which shifts things. That's what always happens. We have back-to-back storm days. It's hard to plan for those storms down the line of where they're going to be.
Softball season.
Bombs will be dropped, truly, at the OU game.
Oh, they're going to be on
but
fire.
But it's going to be on Saturday and Sunday this time. Yeah.
Exactly. And for a lot more folks, I mean, hey, that's going to be great. Schedule-wise weekend, they're not working.
Yeah.
Have at it.
There you go.
Sell more tickets.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all about it.
Yeah, softball season's used to it. They're used to it in the springtime. You
They're
never
always
know when you
moving
need to adjust. Right?
I love that you got something on the radar again
awesome.
to talk about.
It's been awesome. We've had rounds of storms. Some people have very heavy storms, some severe weather, other areas not so much. In the metro, we've had a few 100ths of an inch of rain because we've had drizzle. We've had cloud cover, no thunderstorms. We'll have thunderstorms later today out west that'll be severe. And this morning, we are tracking thunderstorms to the south. And a couple of these have been severe overnight down to the south, just north of the lake down there, Lake Texoma, and had a little bit of wind shear this morning east of Sulphur. So a little bit of circulation with these storms. But again, right now, nothing threatening other than the heavy rain and what's been left behind these storms, which is a lot of water. So aerial flood advisories are in effect to the south. In Oklahoma City, we are dry. We've had some patchy drizzle, but right now, most of the metro, most of Oklahoma City proper, not seeing drizzle. All right, let's go back to Winnett, Stratford, down to Ada, back off to Steedman. Intense lightning. That cell just north of Byers could have some pea-sized hail, tracking off towards the east, south of Seminole, from Bowlegs over to Maud, and then back up to Holdenville. Still some showers near Purcell and Maysville. And we just had one check of lightning near Elmer City. So another thunderstorm coming up west of I-35. As far as the rainfall totals, 2.5 inches from Stratford to Roff. So if you're driving 177, Highway 1, Highway 77, do not drive into water over the roadways. It fell in a short period of time. Turn around. Don't drown, okay? It's dark outside. You can't see. Just don't risk it. Find another area. Some drizzle starting to firm up near Moore, Mustang, Norman, Pink, Shawnee, a couple showers, and we may see the drizzle lift up into the metro. So it's a 30% chance. There's some very thick fog off to the west, and where the fog is the thickest, you've got some pretty heavy drizzle as well. Let me show you across the metro and our cameras. The cameras are socked in, but see the ground level here from our news trackers that are out? Very little in the way of fog impacting visibility, at least in Oklahoma City, but you get west, it's a different story. Dense fog advisory will take us through the mid-morning out to the west. Be careful driving. We're in the 40s with a thick fog and drizzle. 51 in Oklahoma City versus mid-50s to the south with that cold front stalled out. And that's where the instability is, where the stronger storms will be this morning. Later today, though, that lifts back with the south wind, all in advance of our upper level storm coming in and pulling the atmosphere in the lower and mid levels up to the north. A warm front that gives us 70s, 80s. Dry line sits up back in the panhandle and thunderstorms take off. Initially, they'll likely be discrete or isolated thunderstorms. Those are the ones we really have to watch. Then more of a complex forms, which will be wind and hail producers, and maybe still a tornado threat as that complex advances to the northeast. So what does that mean for folks in western Oklahoma? This is not the metro. You're dry most of the daylight hours until about 5, 6 o'clock. Those isolated storms take off. Higher chances will be 7 to about 11 p.m. And then everything moves out of western Oklahoma and you're pretty quiet into the overnight. For Oklahoma City, it's a slight chance. We've got some drizzle chances, a couple of isolated showers this afternoon, but overnight tonight between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., we have a 30 to a 40% chance of thunderstorms. Storms continue to work their way to the east today, and then it's this evening, tonight, and tomorrow that those storms advance. And it looks like great rains. Many areas who get these thunderstorms today and tonight will have the chance to see 1 inch to maybe locally 2 inches of rain, depending on how these set up. They're going to be big storms with a lot of water, but they could also have a lot of hail in those updrafts. So golf ball size hail with some isolated tennis balls are possible. Now don't just take this to the bank. Clinton, Cheyenne, Sayre does not mean you'll see tennis ball size hail, but the ingredients will be there for that possibility. The winds will be turning with height, which means these storms will go up spinning. And as they do so, the tornado threat will be there. This is kind of the tracks of where some of those spinning storms might go. And as they form more of a complex, usually the tornado threat decreases some. So the highest tornado threat today will be in western Oklahoma. It's a moderate threat overall, not exceedingly high, but this evening, the low-level jet kicks in. Those winds start to change in a more favorable environment and a favorable direction, that we could get a brief tornado or two. Then it should weaken some, but there'll still be a tornado threat tonight. So 70s and 80s today, and tomorrow 70s and 80s. Back to the west and southwest behind the dry line. Chance of rain tomorrow is at 30% for the metro, not locked in, and that higher storm threat keeps advancing farther and farther to the east with this setup for your Friday. So a day to be weather aware. We'll talk more about Friday, of course, as we get through this storm threat today. David Payne, the storm trackers, all geared up, ready to go for this afternoon. 78 tomorrow, dry Saturday with rain chances ending very early. 70 on Sunday, and more storms possible next week. Back to you guys.
Lacey, thanks. Your time right now, 5:47. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Gold for the latest on traffic. Megan, visibility a little lower out there this morning.
It is, but as Lacey mentioned, the higher up you are off the surface, the visibility in the fog looks much denser. This is a view from our crews that are out on the roadways showing you there at ground level. Things are really just fine. So you'll notice the haze, the humidity, and we are watching, of course, for that drizzle through the morning commute. There are areas where the fog is very dense, and at ground level, there may be big visibility issues. So just a contrast from that shot, this is our Integris camera, and that is higher up off the surface. So Northwest Expressway and Lake Hefner Parkway, there's the Kilpatrick Turnpike and Penn looking off to the west, and then I-35 looking off to the north. Thankfully, all the roadways just fine right now, so be safe as you head out the door. We are watching for that dense fog back to the north and west, Piedmont to Okarche, and definitely back into northwestern Oklahoma. More on your morning drive coming up here in a few minutes.
Still ahead, Oklahoma Christian University students will go head-to-head to test out their singing skills. We take you behind the scenes to show you what's in store for this coming weekend. Next.
Welcome back. We are streaming live on our YouTube channel. We asked you to subscribe, to leave comments, and here's what you said. Sniper Cat, great name, says congratulations to Dean on his Honor Hall Award. However, good morning, 9 fam.
Hey, good morning, Sniper Cat. Yeah, we love Dean. Dean got honored by his Norman Public School family last night. All right, Keenan this morning. Keenan says, love y'all, have a good day, and thank you all for being here.
All right.
It's our pleasure.
Absolutely, yeah. Glad you're with us, Keenan, and a lot of folks may be tuning in to see what the weather's going to do today. We've got severe weather chances, and we got to talk to Lacey about it. Lacey, the timeline, you're saying probably evening for out west, or afternoon for out west.
So storms will start out west. That's a severe threat later today, and the highest impact will probably be west of I-35. So we'll see. Some of these storms will race to the northeast. We may get the tail end of them here in the metro. Some data brings them barreling down I-35. So it's all about the motion and the direction that they make it into the afternoon and evening. This morning, we're tracking showers and storms to the south, so it's been pretty heavy. Sulphur, Pauls Valley, down to Ardmore and Ada. Some areas have had over 2.5 inches of rain. So some aerial flooding going on to the southeast. Meanwhile, we've got some fog settling in across central and western Oklahoma.
I couldn't even see the Devon Tower driving in this morning.
Yeah, it's kind of up to the mid levels of the of the low levels of the atmosphere. So there's that thick cloud cover out there, but driving down at the surface, you're fine.
Yeah,
but you'll start driving at the mid.
I looked and it is still there. The Devon Tower is still there. I just didn't see it at first.
Breaking news.
Get rid of it in the middle of the night. Sometimes I'm like, oh no, that's my beacon in the night when I'm driving in.
Absconded with my tower.
You know when the sky or the clouds start looking green and orange because the Paycom and the Devon Tower, like it's beautiful. It's kind of ominous.
Gothamy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, how about something good this morning? Oklahoma Christian University's annual Spring Sing event is this coming weekend. It's a big event for students and faculty. They kind of put their musical skills, singing skills to the test. Our Mike Glover shows us what's in store.
For the students and faculty at Oklahoma Christian University, there is no bigger event. It's called Spring Sing, and it brings out the best and the brightest of their talent.
They just do all of this intricate work to make this 5.5-minute show.
It's a variety show of sorts, completely produced by the students.
They make up their own storyline and they write new lyrics to songs.
Choreography, costumes, and all.
It is our biggest event that we have on our campus every year.
But this isn't just a show. It's a competition.
Very competitive for them that are on the stage.
8 campus service social clubs and the freshman class compete to have the best show.
Everyone goes full out. Like, no matter the size of the club, everyone is trying their best.
Nora and Jensen grew up coming to Spring Sing, and this year they were chosen as the directors for the freshman class performance.
Nora and I, we worked really hard on it, and all the freshmen they put their all, and I don't care what placement we get, I just want to make the audience laugh.
That may be the proper thing to say, but the truth is...
We're going to win.
Yeah, we're going to win.
We're going to win.
Thousands of people that come, and it's an alumni kind of reunion too. A lot of people that grew up loving this and did it in college come back with their kids.
This year's theme is Let's Go to the Movies, and the performances are open to the public.
It's just a really clean, family fun, friendly show.
Now we'll have the performance times as well as a link to buy tickets with this story on our website. Some of Oklahoma's most talented kids showcasing their talents. That is something good. I'm Mike Glover for Oklahoma's Own.
Did catch the guys that were dressed as Doc Brown and Marty McFly. So I'm hoping they sing
That's
Power of
awesome.
Love. That would be great.
Oh my God, I always love those sing events. It kind of puts their skills on a showcase, but also some people that are like, I'm not really a dancer, but I'm gonna just give it my all. And then those are some of the best parts of the show.
I did it in college and couldn't sing or dance worth a lick, but they put me in and it's a great time.
I love it.
Yeah.
What'd you sing?
We'll be shocked that you have that talent,
Yeah,
Megan.
that's kind of rude. I don't even remember, honestly.
You don't remember? Sure.
We're gonna have a News 9 talent show coming up.
Oh boy, tune in for that. We'll live stream it. Still to come. Finding for an audit into potential wrongdoings at the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. Those findings out now. We're going to break them down right at 5:30. At 6. What time is it? 6 o'clock.
We're going to be going eastbound and westbound. Put your hands out the door now!
We now have dash camera video showing Oklahoma Highway Patrol stopping a wrong-way driver. I'm Colby Thielen, right now on News 9 at 6. What else that driver was arrested for after he was stopped? It's ahead.
I'm Lacey Lowry. An audit into the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority is released this morning. What it recommends the OTA should change. The story coming up.
And I'm meteorologist Lacey Swope. Tracking a few thunderstorms to the south right now. Some fog, some drizzle in the state. And then this afternoon, this evening, tonight, big storms take off out west. They will likely be severe. The wind, hail, the tornado threats, they're coming up in full weather.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good morning. Glad you're with us this morning. It is Thursday, and we are talking about the potential for severe weather today.
Yeah, Lacey kind of broke it down into three things. We have rain to the south right now, fog in the metro, but really the big thing, weather aware later today. Let's check in with Swope. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Hey, Lace.
Hey, let's start right now with the rain to the south. Good morning to you guys. Some folks are heading out to pretty heavy rain down to the south, down to the southeast. Some areal flood advisories where it could be a little treacherous travel because it's been dry for so long. Some areas have picked up over 2.5 inches of rain. Wish it was more widespread, but it's been isolated. And in those areas, still getting some rain and some thunderstorms this morning. Then we'll talk about the fog and the storms later today. Showers from Purcell to Wayne, Pauls Valley, Davis. This will move on by in the next hour and you'll start to dry out, but you've had a lot of water. Bing to Sissaquah, back over to Calvin, southern Hughes County, back over towards McAllister. Those are thunderstorms rolling through, and they were very slow moving. From Roth to Bing, really back to Wynnewood, areas of 2 to 2.5 inches of rain have fallen. Please don't drive into standing water this morning. Now, we've had a few 100ths of an inch, no standing water in the metro, but some drizzle is lifting in. So about to come right over downtown Oklahoma City, drizzle over Moore and Mustang, back to Norman, Shawnee getting some showers right now. And we have some very thick fog out to the west with some drizzle ongoing as well, especially El Reno, Calumet, Kingfisher, Leedy, Arnett. Let me show you a view right now on our Lucky Star Skycam network. Clouds are very low this morning, but the fog in the metro, or at least Oklahoma City, is not impacting visibility very much. That could change over the next couple of hours. We're at 51 degrees right now. There are 40s in the northwest. That cold front that blew through is down to the south where it's still in the mid upper 60s. And today warm front lifts in. We go from the 50s to the 70s, some 80s in the southwest. And with a dry line setting up in western Oklahoma, the risk for storms this afternoon and evening goes up. It's a moderate threat. I do think we see a few of these storms that are big wind and hail producers. There's a tornado threat today as well. And then those storms, as they move to the east and up to the north, will start to weaken. We'll time this out. We'll have the latest on that tornado zone coming up at 6:15. Back to you guys.
New this morning, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol says a 15-year-old is dead after a crash in Lincoln County. Troopers say the crash happened Saturday night near Meeker. They tell us a 15-year-old was driving on 3440 road when they left the road for some reason, rolled, hit a power pole, and landed on the top of the car. There were 2 passengers inside. One of them, also 15 years old, later died. The driver and the other passenger were injured. No names have been released because they are juveniles. The cause of why they crashed has not been released.
Now to the northwest side of Oklahoma City, where police say a man drives off the road, crashes into a boulder, and then digs up a manhole cover. All of this morning happened before 4 a.m. on the Northwest Expressway right near Wilshire. Officers say that he was taken to the hospital. The extent of his injuries still unknown at this point, and so far no names have been released. And in Enid, police say they're investigating after a woman is shot and killed. Officers say they found her in a home just before 8 p.m. yesterday. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. We also know police talked to a man who was in his car at a nearby gas station, refused to come out of the car. Right now, unclear if that was connected to the shooting. We are reaching out to officials. We'll bring you the updates as soon as we get them.
OU Health Hospital says a person was found dead inside a private visitor bathroom at the hospital. A spokesperson tells us the cleaning crew found the person inside a locked private bathroom on Monday. It's unclear right now, the investigation ongoing, as to how long that person had been there and how exactly they died. In a statement, OU Health tells us they are saddened by the death and they're working closely with investigative authorities in this case. Your time now 6:05. A quick check of traffic this morning. Let's get over to meteorologist Megan Gold. Hey, Megan.
Hey, good morning. As we've been talking about this foggy, hazy look to your Thursday morning, and thankfully at the ground level, we are not seeing big visibility issues. So you'll notice the haze and kind of the fog the higher up off the surface you look. But if you are hitting the roadways this morning, just be safe. We're watching for that drizzle. Several more shots to show you here from our Mathis home cam. There's that hazy look, and then I-40 and Meridian. If you're commuting in from the west side, nothing to slow you down, no accidents. I-35 looking off to the north. We've had a little bit of drizzle down on the south side. So as we begin to see this drizzle kind of pick up, just be advised that the roadways like yesterday morning can become wet, and that can cause more of a slowdown. So across the metro, we're good to go. The dense fog is up to the north and to the west, and definitely back up into western and northwestern Oklahoma. More on your morning commute. And of course, I'll let you know about any accidents here in just a bit.
Megan, thanks. The Oklahoma State Auditor, Cindy Byrd, releases a new audit saying the State Turnpike Authority did nothing wrong. Attorney General Gentner Drummond requested that audit back in March of 2023. He says several state lawmakers and state employees expressed concerns with the Turnpike Authority's conduct. Well, the audit recommends the agency ensure proper controls over contracting practices. But in a statement, OTA says it's looking at strengthening its policies and improving documentation. Our Brianna Brown will have more on that audit coming up at 6:30. Take a look at this. This is the aftermath of an overnight semi-trailer fire on I-35 southbound right near Guthrie. Hard to tell what you're even looking at. ODOT tells us that this photo of the charred debris was what was left behind. We're working to learn what led to the fire and if it disrupted any traffic, but certainly.
Is that the back of the semi?
It looks like the back of the semi. Maybe the top there was the part that was severely burned, but
oh my goodness.
Wild.
Yeah, right on the side of I-35.
Yeah, we'll check with any injuries as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get over to Lacey. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. How are we looking this morning? A lot of folks waking up saying, what's the weather doing?
What's going to happen today?
Yeah.
Well, depending on where you are, you're either in heavy rain and thunderstorms right now, fog and drizzle in other areas, and then this afternoon we need to be prepared and watching for storms out west, and some of those will pack a punch. They'll be severe today. Some big wind and hail, also the threat for tornadoes out west. We'll talk about that. Right now, live look on Next Gen, fired up with some drizzle moving into Oklahoma City, down to Norman, thunderstorms to the southeast, and later today, warm front lifts in. We'll talk about the wind and hail threat, the tornado threat, and will these storms reach the metro? It's coming up.
Well, here at News 9, we love honoring teachers who are making an impact in the classroom.
This morning, we're honoring Dalton Flanders, a biology and chemistry teacher from Seminole High. The person who nominated him says that he makes science content relevant for all students with his lessons and experiments.
Congratulations, Dalton. Do you know an educator doing great things in the classroom? Nominate them to be an impactful teacher. Just go to news9.com/teacher. Back after this. All right, you can meet Lacey, David, Megan, and the entire News 9 weather team at the 10th Annual Severe Weather Awareness Expo this Saturday. The nation's largest team of storm trackers, pilot Mason Dunn, Bob Mills, Sky News 9, they're all going to be at Penn Square Mall from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Saturday. It's always a great event. Swing by, say hi.
Yeah, Lacey, you guys have folks coming from the Panhandle, from all over Oklahoma.
It's cool how people,
talk about weather.
They get to come in and see so many of the weather team and the gadgets that we use. The tracer trucks are there, the helicopter. We're so excited. Our newest helicopter, Bob Mills Sky News 9, will be there. And you get to ask so many questions. So people kind of come from all over, fascinated by Oklahoma weather. We're all impacted by it, whether we like it or not.
Oh man, and this first week of March has already proven it, isn't
right.
it?
We've had many areas that have had storms, many areas that have stayed dry, depending on where you are. In the metro, we've kind of been in the hole. We've had a trace of rain. Some areas have hit a few 1/100ths of an inch. We'll have some chances this afternoon and evening, but the higher chances are going to be outside of the metro with this go round. So for the kids getting ready to head to school this morning, here's your bus stop forecast. Get ready for a little bit of a breezy day, 10 to 20 mile an hour wind, temperatures in the 50s this morning. It's a little cloudy this morning and there is some drizzle that is starting to lift on in. So drizzle starting to pick up in intensity. That'll make you have to use your windshield wipers for your morning drive, make the roadways wet. Megan will have your full traffic update coming up. We'll warm to the 70s and there's a very slight chance of isolated showers or maybe a weak thunderstorm today in central Oklahoma. That will not be connected with the big upper level severe threat. That severe threat for the metro goes up overnight tonight. And I'll show you, we do have thunderstorms that have been ongoing this morning and kind of an outflow boundary from that complex shoved up to the north. That's what's bringing the drizzle and the showers into the south metro, but we're not going to get in on the heavy rain. That's staying down near Ada and Holdenville. In Oklahoma City, there you see the drizzle on Next Gen Live coming into downtown, back I-44 to Newcastle, Tuttle, Blanchard, Norman, Pink, showers from Shawnee back to St. Louis, and the thunderstorms are from Bing to Allen to Calvin, and they're pushing to the east. Some areas have had a lot of water overnight, so if you're just waking up and joining us, about to hit the roadways from Wynnewood to Davis to Sulphur to Roth, back up to Ada, be careful. Aerial flood advisory because you've had 2.5 inches of rain in a short period of time, and that could lead to some localized flooding. If you're driving, you see water over the roadway, just turn around, find an alternate route. Don't get yourself in trouble this morning, and flooding can take your life in those situations. So be careful. We've got fog and a little drizzle in the metro. No flooding going on. Fog and drizzle back to the west as well, but visibility has improved some. It's still really thick up near Woodward. Let me show you a live look from our Lucky Star Skycam network, and you can see our news trackers that are out in OKC. Visibility is okay. Of course, where we're a little bit higher with our cameras, you can see a little bit of that fog has settled on in. Let me show you the temperatures as you're heading out because it's been kind of wild off and on. How do we dress in this type of an environment where it's going to be cold all day, rainy all day? Some areas are hot, depending on where you are. It's in the 40s in the northwest, 50s in central Oklahoma, 60s down to the south, and will warm to the 70s today. So have the jacket with you. You notice northern Oklahoma, you're in the 50s and 60s. The warm front doesn't make it your direction. With this rich Gulf moisture fills in right behind that boundary, dry line sets up to the west, and storms will start to take off this afternoon. Now, this is just one of our in-house models showing you the location and kind of the timing of these storms. It will not be exact, but it is a good estimation of where the ingredients are more favorable for these storms later today. So here's Oklahoma City, southwest Oklahoma, Hollis, Mangum. This is going to be about 5 to 6 to 7 p.m. Storms taking off. More storms back in the Panhandle, and these storms will go up spinning. They'll pose a wind and a hail threat, a tornado risk. Then more of a complex starts to form, which is messy storms, but great rains out of this. Moving up to Tologa, Putnam, Enid. Now in Oklahoma City, we'll have to watch the tail end of these storms making their way into the metro after midnight, and then it weakens into the overnight hours. It's a low to a moderate threat today because I think we see more numerous storms in this zone, and I do think you have those higher impacts where we'll have wind and a hail threat and also that low tornado risk. So as we time this out statewide, your afternoon is mostly quiet. Thursday is going to be a warm day, partly cloudy skies, and we'll have some storms off to the southeast. Then late this evening and tonight, those storms take off and move to the northeast. How much rain could you see? Well, if you get one of these bigger complexes of storms that moves through your area, 1 to 2 to 2.5 inches of rain isolated will be possible. But it may come with the price of some hail. These will be big storms with some quarter-size hail pretty easily, maybe some golf balls, and some of the strongest storms, especially if they're isolated, could have some tennis ball size hail stones with them. As far as these storms spinning, the low-level winds filtering into these will be favorable, especially into the evening and early night hours because the low-level jet kicks in at that time frame, and that's when the winds will be a little more favorable to get a tornado. So it's a low risk from Enid back over to base
basically down to Fort Cobb, back up into Blaine County, portions of Woodward, and back to Hobart. But a moderate threat from Sayre to Cheyenne, back down into the Hollis area, and we'll be watching that closely. Trackers will be out today. They're heading out early. They'll be in western Oklahoma. They'll bring those storms across the state. Mason Dunn and Bob Mills Sky News 9 will be out, and our team will be here, as always, on air, online. I'll come back this afternoon with David and the team, and everybody will have you covered if these storms start to ramp up. And for some, I think they do for a little while. Now, tomorrow, big question about tomorrow. Where's the dry line? Where's the cold front? The morning storms, I think, disrupt what we're going to see tomorrow afternoon for central Oklahoma. Most of the day, dry. Still a 30% chance we get an isolated thunderstorm, but the higher chances will be to the east, and that's where there's a low to a moderate threat for your Friday. Stay tuned. We'll fine-tune this after we get these storms in here tonight, because they will actually impact what happens for your Friday. 55 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday, 80 on Monday, guys. Warm with more severe weather possible Tuesday of next week. Back to you.
And as a reminder, we are streaming live right now on YouTube, about 330 people on there right now. You can get the QR code right here. That'll take you to the page. Subscribe, join in the chat. We'll read some of those comments later this morning. The Oklahoma City Thunder finished a 3-day, 4-game road trip with a win, beating the New York Knicks last night.
It was a close one. Final score was 103-100. News 9's Thunder reporter Steve McGeehee has the recap from New York.
The Thunder do it again here at Madison Square Garden. They haven't lost here since now 2017. Close game. Knicks had a chance to put the game in overtime, but they missed 2 threes before the final buzzer. Chet Holmgren, 28 points, had 6 threes. One more, he would have had a career high, but Chet performing well in such a great arena.
You know, it's always cool to have a good game in the Mecca. I've only played here one other time, and I'd say this is definitely, my best game in the Garden. So that's awesome. And on top of that, we were able to win the game.
The Garden is fun to play at just because the aroma of the building, the way the court's lit up, the way the crowd's a little like darkened. It's fun to play. And then all the historic games that have happened here. It's always like a get-up game for sure.
When you're the reigning MVP, you look good in anything. SGA with a fashion statement last night. The Thunder with a statement win here in New York. From Madison Square Garden in downtown New York City, Steve McGeehee, Oklahoma's own.
You see the shot of Seinfeld there. Chet dropped 28 in front of Seinfeld. He was like, Megan, what's the deal with this tall guy?
Stop it.
How are we looking on the roadways this morning?
Roadways are good. I do want to show you this shot from our Stephen Owsley and Kylie Dedman. Look at the moisture on their windshield. This is that drizzle that we're talking about. The fog has been dense up in the west and the northwest, but at ground level here in Oklahoma City, it is just fine if you're hitting the roadways. But again, watch for the drizzle, the roadways. We're not going to see any ponding, way too light for that, but the roads could become damp. So just a heads up. Here's the look at the radar right now as we have this drizzle kind of building in from the north with the heavier thunderstorms down to the south. And as the drizzle picks up in intensity, it might start to impact the morning commute some. There is some lower visibility out on the west side, but again, at ground level for most of the metro, we're doing just fine. And up in the northwest is where visibility is lower. There's I-40 and I-44 looking off to the north. I-40 and Air Depot, no slowdowns there. And across the entire metro, we don't have any accidents. Hopefully we will keep it that way. Be safe as you hit the roadways, guys. Back over to you.
A new honor for News 9's own Dean Blevins. How he will be remembered in Norman. The story after the break.
Oklahoma Task Force One is honored at the state capitol, showing appreciation for all the work they've done. The Oklahoma City Fire Department says the multi-agency team has members from OKC Fire and police, from Tulsa as well, and they respond to disasters to provide life-saving work here and across the nation.
A special honor for our longtime sports director, Dean Blevins. He was inducted into the Norman Public Schools Foundation Hall of Honor yesterday. Dean, who spent decades covering school sports across the state, was also obviously a standout athlete himself in high school and then at OU. This recognition honored him as one of Norman High School's most accomplished athletes.
Accomplished athlete, accomplished broadcaster. Dean can do it all.
He does it all. Congratulations, Dean.
All right, let's turn now to the outdoor forecast. What you got for us this morning, Lacey?
Well, we had this video sent in from Butler, and it absolutely is amazing. So the turkeys right now, the little babies, they are still getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the little poults. And near Butler, Rob sent us this video. So you can see the big old turkey here in the middle. Will it play? Come on. It's a video. There it goes. And there you can see all the little babies kind of trickling in behind, which is amazing because the turkey population has been hurting across Oklahoma in recent years. So just to see them thriving.
A lot of them,
isn't
too.
it? It's amazing. We are 6 weeks away from turkey season, by the way. And I've got some gobblers on my place. And my daughter, she keeps picking on them every time we see them. She'll kind of beep at them and cluck at them. And they perk up. They're ready to gobble.
Those thunder chickens.
They're starting to get a little bit crazy, and they will. They'll get wilder and wilder, and they'll start gobbling a whole lot more as we get closer and closer to April. All right, right now we're getting thunderstorms, some spring-like rains definitely in southern Oklahoma. Heavy thunderstorms down near Ada, Holdenville, McAllister, some showers from Shawnee back to Norman, and some drizzle in the Oklahoma City metro. We're dry across much of the area through the afternoon. Isolated rain chances with temperatures into the low 70s, and then that severe threat, it ramps up out west as we head into the afternoon and evening. We'll talk about what to expect with the wind and hail threat and the tornado threat coming up. Back to you guys.
It makes me sad. I think that's the best word that I can say.
A Cleveland County man is detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, tied to a charge that was originally expunged. In just a few minutes, his family's fight to have him released. It's ahead right here on News 9.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9 This Morning.
Welcome back to News 9 This Morning. We're going to get to those top stories and weather headlines. But first, we wanted to show you something that had us talking this morning.
Did you see this? The Oklahoma City Thunder in New York last night. And look what SGA was wearing. Or wearing him. I'm not sure. This jacket is something else. This is how he showed up to the game against the Knicks, and then he wore it for the post-game interview, and he could barely get his lips above the fluff of the collar talking. So everyone's like, man, you can make anything look fashionable, even a puffy mink coat. Our sports director, Toby Rowland, called him the abominable showman.
Yeah. We were like, that's a Shea plushie. You can get it available right now in the Thunder shop. The coat is cool. It was the neck scarf.
And it's kind of right up to his mouth right there.
It's cold in New York.
Only
or at
Shea
least
can
it
pull
was.
it off, I tell you.
Absolutely. Hey, when you drop more than 20 points for 125 consecutive games, you do what you want.
Wear whatever you want. Hey, let's get over to Lacey Swope. Lace, we have some video coming into the newsroom. Pretty incredible. This is Seagoville, so this is the south side of Dallas.
Right.
This car, look how deep it is in water there. You said they got a lot of rain.
So this is not Oklahoma. Yeah, point this out. This is definitely south of Dallas, Texas. But you can see how deep the water is. And I think this is a roadway because there's the barriers, or this is a ditch. Just trying to get information, but just to show you how much water they've got. And I'm showing you this as a reminder. Flooding kills more people than tornadoes, okay? It's heat as the #1 killer, then flooding rains. And we've got some aerial flood advisories going on in south central Oklahoma. I'll show you that, but hoping no one was in that car or was they're not looking for someone. It's hard to figure out what they're doing right there, but it doesn't look good. These areas south of Dallas has had 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 inches of rain, big time flooding going on for the Dallas metro. But then for Oklahoma City, we had drizzle, no flooding, some drizzle that's moving through this morning, but there have been some storms down south that have been quite heavy. And let me show you the totals. I wish this was more widespread as far as the rainfall goes, but Sulphur, Davis, Wynnewood, Roth, all the way back up to Lula and Stewart, this is 2.5 inches of rain that has fallen. So there may be some isolated flooding. If you're driving over a roadway, still dark, we're starting to break daylight, please do not drive into water over the roadways. It's hard to see what's going on. Be careful also down near Wapanucka and Tishomingo. Lots of heavy rain. Still getting heavy rain in this area, and some showers now over Norman, Purcell, Shawnee, and Cromwell. Drizzle moving up to Oklahoma City. So basically I-40 south, roads are damp, some drizzle coming on in. We've had some thick fog, but it's actually improving some. And on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, that's our O-Trip cam, and you can see the drizzle there on the lens. 51 degrees is our current temperature. Latest on the fog, it's starting to mix out some, not quite as bad, but it is worse from Woodward down to Clinton. That's kind of the worst conditions. Drizzle moving through, thunderstorms to the southeast this morning, and 40s to 50s are the temperatures. Now later today, warm front lifts in. It's a day to be weather aware. A low to a moderate threat for storms today, starting as early as 5 o'clock, but I think 6 to 7 is kind of when we'll watch out for those storm chances. Large hail damaging winds, and there will be a low tornado threat. A little higher into far western Oklahoma. We'll time it all out for you in just a minute.
Lacey, thanks. Now to your headlines this morning. A crash involving a University of Oklahoma campus bus and a car sent several people to the hospital right near the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman. OUPD says at least 2 people were transported with non-life-threatening injuries. Right now, the cause of that crash is under investigation. A Vietnamese refugee who rebuilt his life in Oklahoma is now facing deportation after what was supposed to be a routine work permit check-in, and it ended with him in Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody. Hai Nguyen immigrated to the U.S. as a child and later got his green card. And while he was in college, he was arrested for possession of marijuana. Well, his niece tells us that he got that charge expunged and has a valid work permit. But earlier this year, he ended up detained over an old removal order tied to that conviction.
You know, you have someone who brings this light and this energy and always reminds you that it's not a bad life, it's just a bad day, and then he's not there.
Nguyen remains in custody at ICE's Cimarron detention facility that's in Cushing. His niece says that he could stay in custody for up to 180 days waiting to be deported to Vietnam.
Your time now 6:34. A check of traffic. Let's get over to meteorologist Megan Gold. She's watching the commute. Hey, Megan.
Hey, good morning. We've got our Lex Stanfield getting into position to try and get a shot of a reported collision in the eastbound lanes of I-40, kind of in between Portland and Meridian, causing some slowdowns there in the traffic. Again, the eastbound lanes, and you can see Lex has those windshield wipers going as there is drizzle here in the Oklahoma City Metro. So let me show this to you on the map. Again, this is going to be in the eastbound lanes of I-40. You're starting to see a backup there just west of I-44 and speeds down to about 20 miles per hour. So the crash right around Portland to Meridian. So if you're traveling into the Metro from the west side, I would give yourself extra time. From the ODOT camera there, looking off to the east, you can see the tail lights there and kind of the slowdown that has developed as a result of that crash. As the drizzle is intensifying here in the Metro, are also starting to see some slowdowns in the northbound lanes of I-35 a little earlier than is normal for this time of morning. So just be advised the roadways may be a little wet. I'll have an update on that crash here in a few minutes.
At the state capitol, lawmakers are looking at how to protect Oklahomans with the growth of these big data centers. This bill would require electric companies to make sure Oklahomans aren't paying high rates resulting from the electric services that are connected with these huge data centers.
These data centers will pay for their own infrastructure of their power agreements, and that way we ensure that these costs don't get shifted to our ratepayers of Oklahoma.
Now, this would only apply to new data centers if passed, since existing ones already have contracts in place. This bill now heads to the full House floor.
We're going to be going eastbound and westbound. Put your hands out the door now!
Oklahoma Highway Patrol releasing crazy dash camera video of a wrong-way driver going from I-35 onto the Turner Turnpike. Watch this. That semi barely misses hitting this guy head on. It was all yesterday morning. OHP says that is the driver. The driver was actually twice the legal limit for blood alcohol. He was arrested for DUI. Luckily, no one was injured, but how close they came to a head-on crash.
First I-35, then the Turner Turnpike, both the wrong direction. You think about the traffic, that was around 3:30 in the morning.
Yes.
We talk about it all the time coming into work. I've seen a wrong way driver on my way to work before.
I know,
it's kind of scary.
OHP says 90% of the wrong way drivers that they work and investigate were driving in what would be the far left fast lane.
Oh my goodness.
So when I drive into work, I am never in that lane because that can happen right there.
I don't blame you.
Isn't that crazy?
It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, just be careful. Always be a defensive driver. Let's turn now to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lacey Swope standing by. Lacey, we got a lot of good rain right now in the south of Oklahoma.
Yeah, getting some decent showers, some thunderstorms. They were low and severe overnight. Now drizzle lifting up into Oklahoma City. So those roadways for your commute, they are becoming damp. Some light rain and drizzle lifting on in. It is soggy, basically right around Route 66 down to the south. Norman getting some heavier showers back down to Noble, and the thunderstorms are pushing into eastern Oklahoma from Holdenville back to McAllister. Later today, we turn our attention out west. Severe storms are looking more and more likely. The latest details and timing coming up.
A new investigative audit reveals the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority did nothing wrong, but it does have some recommendations moving forward. Details after the break.
right now on I-44. This is a crash right at I-40 and I-44. So this is the Amarillo Junction. You can see all the emergency lights there. We have our Lex Stanfield. He's headed to that. He's at Agnew right now, so just east of the Amarillo Junction. He's whipping around to try and get us a better shot. But what you're seeing right now is causing some big slowdowns there on I-40 as law enforcement is responding, first responders there. So we'll continue to monitor that, but keep in mind I-40, I-44 might be a little slow going this morning.
Even that live shot right there looks a little foggy this morning.
Yeah, definitely. And the drizzle coming down. So that's kind of the big change. And so when the drizzle begins, now the roadways become wet. Everyone's having to use their wipers. You can even get a little bit of spray coming up from those semis. So be careful. Allow extra time for sure so you can take it a little slower. It's lifted to about I-40, almost Route 66 and south.
Okay, there you go.
And then you got to worry about further south, actually getting some storms
Big rain this morning.
Big rain, thunderstorms for southern and southeast Oklahoma, and thunderstorm chances go up out west later today. That's where the severe risk will be. Now I'm just going to start showing you where this is, and we'll get into all the fine details in just a minute. But we're watching western Oklahoma afternoon, evening, so make your plans, do your thing, but have ways to get warnings. We will be on air, online as these storms approach. Have that News 9 app. It alerts you when storms are approaching your area. It'll also alert you if we are going to go live, giving more extended details before we come on your TV screen. Large hail, damaging winds, and a low tornado threat. That's this afternoon, evening. This morning, fog, drizzle through central Oklahoma, and then heavy rain and storms down to the southeast. But they're quickly moving to the east from Ada to McAllister. Showers over Norman, over Purcell, and we've got the light drizzle lifting in from Spencer to Choctaw, right over Oklahoma City and Yukon, back down to Moore. You can see it along Highway 62, back to Meeker, and showers now from Noble to Cole to Norman, Shawnee, and that's kind of lifting up to the north. The heavy rain will not make it into central Oklahoma. It's going to keep pushing away off to the east, but some areas have had 2 to 2.5 inches of rain. So listen up, Wynnewood, Roth, Sulphur, north sides of Sulphur, south sides of Stratford, 177, Highway 1, Highway 77, back over to 48. There may be some standing water or flooding over roadways, so please don't drive into that. Just find an alternate route if you have to. And then as far as the drizzle goes, you can see it on our lenses. 51 degrees is the current temp. And let me show you a broad view here from our Lucky Star Skycam network of all the cameras. Of course, you can see the shots now for that wreck there on I-40. We'll be getting more information on that with Megan. And then you can see the drizzle on many of the lenses going on. Starting to be a little soggy start for your Thursday. Now, this morning, as far as the fog, it's thicker once you get to Cordell, Thomas, Leedy, back up to Mutual and Woodward. Visibility at times less than 1/4 mile. So patchy drizzle through central, western Oklahoma, storms to the southeast, and temps are in the 50s. There are 40s going on in the northwest, and that boundary to the south is going to lift back to the north. We get our big upper level storm system that we've been talking about, and the leading edge of that, as we get those stronger south winds from the south to the north in the mid levels, it pulls up the surface winds, pulls up the low levels of the atmosphere, taps into that rich Gulf moisture down in Texas and brings it in, which will be fuel for storms. Then the dry line sets up in the west and storms start to take off. I think they erupt in the southwest somewhere. This may not be exactly where they develop. They may be north, south, or further back into the Texas panhandle, but between 5, 6, and 7 p.m., isolated storms take off. Now, they should move more to the north and then eventually get a shove to the east. As they fire up, they'll go up spinning. Okay, they'll be what we call cyclonically sheared, meaning they're spinning. Doesn't mean they're producing tornadoes, but we got to watch them closely because that tornado threat will be there, and it increases some after sunset. Then more of a complex of storms form, and this will be heavy rain. 2.5 inches of rain could fall out of these storms as they fire through. Also still posing a wind and a hail threat. Now, what we have to watch for are any storms that are isolated back down behind that line that could ride along I-40. There is a 40% chance we get a couple thunderstorms in central Oklahoma after midnight, but not everyone sees the rain in the metro. So metro rain chances, I'll show you that in a second. This is western Oklahoma, okay? Between basically 1 and 5 o'clock, you're mostly dry. Storms take off. Higher storm chances or highest storm chances will be from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. out west. In central Oklahoma and the metro, much lower threat. In fact, we've got the drizzle this morning, a couple of isolated showers this afternoon, and the highest storm chances will be from 11 p.m. until 3 a.m. tonight. Trackers will be out. We'll have updates all evening, all night. Weather team will be here. David, of course, will be in the house. And if needed, I will come back this afternoon and be here as well. So 20% chance of rain for this afternoon. And then this evening and tonight, it's a 40 to a 60 to a 70% chance out west. So let's talk threats. with these storms. Up to quarter-size hail in central Oklahoma, golf ball from Ponca to Enid to Woodward, and not everyone in this zone sees tennis ball size hail, but the chance is there for sure, with the ingredients coming together from Cheyenne to Clinton to Sayre, back down to Hollis. As far as the tornado threat, as I mentioned, we'll have to watch this whole complex the entire time because it will pose a low tornado threat. But in the southwest, especially when those storms are discrete or isolated, a storm by itself has a lot of energy to work with, and that tornado threat bumps up to moderate for a while into the evening hours. Then tomorrow, 70s, 80s behind the dry line, warm and isolated storms are possible, but the latest data keeps shoving the higher instability, the stronger storms to the east. Right now, a low threat and a low chance in Oklahoma City, higher chance off towards the east. We'll update you more on Friday's threat as we get through the storm system tonight, because it will impact what happens tomorrow. 55 Saturday, 70 Sunday, and guys, we'll have more storms back in the forecast next week.
I want to take you back out live to this breaking news, the crash on I-40 eastbound lanes right before you get to I-44. Several vehicles involved, that's what you can see. And then the traffic backup is all the way to Rockwell and kind of getting closer to Council as more folks hit the road. Again, I-40 eastbound right before you get to I-44. We are at the scene. We'll have the latest next.
Welcome back. A crash on I-40 has the eastbound lane slowed way down. Let's turn to meteorologist Megan Gold for the latest. Megan?
Hey, Colby, this is in between Portland and Meridian, and this is a view from our Lex Stanfield there. He is on the scene. It's in the inside kind of shoulder of the eastbound lanes of I-40, but there are 2 of the 3 lanes open, so best to assume that inside lane is blocked. Let me show you where this is on the map. It's going to be to the west of I-44, again in the eastbound lane. So if you're coming into Oklahoma City from El Reno, Yukon, or really just the west sides of the metro, allow yourself extra time. The backup is all the way west of Council at this time. Hard to see with the drizzle on the camera there. There's the ODOT camera from I-40 and Meridian looking off to the east, and then we'll switch it back to the west and a whole lot of headlights there. So again, I would allow yourself a good extra 5, 10, 15 minutes if you're coming in from the west. Back over to you guys.
We now know the results of an audit looking into the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. The audit was requested 2 years ago, and the results this week highlight 5 areas of concern for the agency. News 9's Brianna Brown is in the newsroom breaking down those findings. Brianna?
Lacey, in the newly released audit, Oklahoma State Auditor Cindy Byrd says her office did not find any wrongdoing by the State Turnpike Authority. Now, this audit was requested by Attorney General Gentner Drummond in 2023. He says several state lawmakers and state employees expressed concerns with OTA's conduct. Byrd said that OTA did not follow its normal practices for contracting during the selection process of this project, and that could cause higher prices because without competitive bidding, contractors have no incentive to lower their prices.
Many of the public's most pressing concerns about OTA can only be resolved by amending legislation. Given the extensive number of concerns voiced by the public and echoed by the Attorney General, the legislature may want to consider revisiting relevant statutes and creating additional guardrails for OTA.
The audit focused on areas of concern related to the Access Oklahoma Long Range Turnpike Improvement Plan. You can find that full audit report as well as statements from OTA and Attorney General Drummond on our website, news9.com. Live in the newsroom, Brianna Brown for Oklahoma's Own News 9.
State Auditor Cindy Byrd, who is currently running for Lieutenant Governor, said this is the first investigative audit of OTA in nearly 80 years. She will join us live at 9 a.m. to share more insight into the audit. Back after this.
Welcome back. On the northwest side of Oklahoma City, police say a man drives off the road, crashes into a boulder, and digs up a manhole cover. This all happened a little before 4 a.m. this morning on the Northwest Expressway right near Wilshire. Officers say that he was taken to the hospital. So far, no names have been released. And the Oklahoma Highway Patrol says a 15-year-old is dead after a crash in Lincoln County. Troopers say that crash happened Saturday night right near Meeker. They tell us a 15-year-old was driving on 3440 road. When they left the roadway, rolled, hit a power pole, and then landed on the top of the car. So there are 2 passengers in that car. One of them, also 15 years old, later died. The driver and the other passenger were also injured. So far, no names have been released. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
Another final look at traffic here at 6:57. Continuing to keep an eye on this crash in the eastbound lanes of I-40. If we could take our Lex Stanfield shot, he's got a shot there from the scene. And we just know that the ambulance has left. If not, I'll go ahead and zoom it in and show you the backup all the way out to County Line. And the slowdown is pretty significant at this time. So heads up if you're coming in from the west side. There's the backup from our Lex Stanfield. And also another new crash has popped up on Northwest Expressway right over Lake Hefner Parkway. Again, it's not on Lake Hefner Parkway, but it is on Northwest Expressway. If we can take it back to Links 1 really quickly. Also big time slowdowns in the northbound lanes of I-35. So be safe as you hit the roadways with drizzle falling in the metro.
We do want to remind you, you can meet Lacey, David, Megan, and the whole News 9 weather team at the 10th Annual Severe Weather Awareness Expo this coming Saturday. The nation's largest team of storm trackers, pilot Mason Dunn, Bob Mills, Sky News 9, everyone's going to be at Penn Square Mall this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Swing by, say hi. Lace, a lot to talk about right now.
A lot to talk about for sure. It's springtime now in Oklahoma, and spring-like weather is underway. We had a few thunderstorms this morning that were severe, really overnight down in South Central Oklahoma. More severe weather possible later today. The trackers, Mason, the weather team, we're going to spend a whole lot of time together here as we head through the afternoon, evening, and tonight. Now, this morning, we do have wet roadways. Please be careful in the Oklahoma City Metro. Wake yourself up, get a big old cup of coffee, stay alert, put down your phone, no distractions. Roads are wet, and sometimes drivers, they just don't handle it very well, so be on the defense this morning. Showers from Norman to Shawnee, back over to Holdenville, and it's mainly just drizzle. It's light, but it's enough you'll need your wipers in the Oklahoma City Metro. Now, later today, a low to a moderate threat for severe weather. Now, some of those storms, big hail, damaging winds, a tornado threat. Stay aware. The timing of this, they start likely after 5 p.m. out west, and there's a 40% chance they make it to the Metro, and that would be around midnight to 3 a.m. More storms possible tomorrow, guys, mainly in eastern Oklahoma.
Busy, busy weather day.
It's one of those.
All right.
March came in announcing itself loudly.
Absolutely.
Here we go. Hey, much more ahead coming up at 9 a.m. We'll be right back here. Make it a great day in the meantime.